West Coast, the Western Bulldogs, I should say, Western Bulldogs are trying to attempt to get into the top 8 this evening. If they can win this game, they'll jump into the top 8. And, of course, the GWS Giants trying to cement their place in the top 8. Of course, I tell you what, folks, big game here this evening. Let's just have a look at the ladder where these two teams, of course, we see here the GWS Giants sitting in 6th position on 52 points, 118.4 is their percentage. Well, Western Bulldogs, if the Giants lose tonight, they'll still remain in the top 8. But, of course, the Western Bulldogs, if they win tonight, they'll leapfrog the Gold Coast Suns and they will jump straight into the top 8. It should be absolutely fantastic. Should be a ring-a-ding-ding game. Should be pretty close. All up. Of course, Western Bulldogs there sitting on 44 points. 132.6 is their percentage. A lot better than most of the teams in the top 8. So if the Western Bulldogs can win tonight, they will jump into the top 8. I tell you what, she's going to be a tough old game is this one, that is for sure. Just having a look at the ins and outs for both teams here. And, of course, for the Western Bulldogs, no changes. Vandermeer is the sub, though. And, of course, for the GWS Giants, Leek Alir coming in with Harry Ralston and Harvey Thomas. Going out, Jack Buckley, Josh Kelly, Toby Green going out. The sub is Harry Ralston. There are your teams tonight. We're only a minute or so away from the bounce of the ball for the opening quarter here. But I tell you what, folks, we are in for a ring-a-ding-ding game tonight. Of course, round 21 AFL football action. That's going to be an absolute cracking game. You just try and straighten that up a little bit so it's not so crooked for everyone out there. I'll say welcome to everyone not too far away. There we go. That's all leveled up. But, folks, hey, we are only moments away from this game. As you can see, the Bulldogs here are favourite to win, 139. Of course, the Giants outsiders at 292. It's going to be a tough game. Who's going to win? That's the question we're going to find out not too far away. The Marvel Stadium, I think I'm going to have to tip the Western Bulldogs to win this one, jump into the top 8 with a couple of those good players out for the Giants. But I tell you what, yeah, we're in for a cracking game. So enough for me talking. Hey, let's get down to the action. And they'll take us into the bounce of the ball for the first quarter, whereas the Western Bulldogs taking the GWS Giants. We are only probably a minute away from the bounce of the ball. So let's take us down to the commentators and they'll take us straight into the game.
So he's an out, but luckily he's got some talent. There's no doubt about that. And he's growing as a player, but you just wonder whether the Dogs can capitalise on this clearance game and get the ball there at speed to expose some of these backs in those situations.
What's the key down back for the Giants with Norton and Darcy just dominated last week?
I think Himmelberg's critically important just to make sure he's the third man in. Clearly, I think Darcy will probably get Taylor and Alir will go to Norton. So from a Bulldogs point of view, they would see that as maybe their opportunity to hit the scoreboard. Aaron Norton's been fantastic in the second part of this season here, but secondary help. Kieran Briggs as the ruck needs to get his skates on and get back and help as well.
Cornelio, great to see him back in the side and playing good footy after a nasty injury, kept him out for, well, nearly 3/4 of the season.
Of course, GWS, Howie, is the one team that the Western Bulldogs was able to defeat earlier in the year that was above them on the ladder. So an interesting run home for the Dogs. We've already got Fremantle earmarked in the last round. Might be a crucial match for the Doggies trying to get into the finals.
Yeah, we're up in Canberra for that match, and Buslinger came in and did a fantastic job that night. But this man, David King, he's played for both these sides. He's been in good nick. He's a bums on seats man as well.
He's been terrific. There's no doubt about that. He's kicked 20 goals in 12 games and has really got rolling the last month of football, 4-3-3 the last 3 weeks. But without Toby Green there, he now gets the third best defender. When Toby's there, he gets the fourth. So the domino effect of no Toby will be felt, I think, severely by Jake Stringer. They're good enough in the forward half. We all know that the last 6 weeks, it's the number one threat in the game. So let's see how they go tonight. Are they more the third quarter of last week or the first two?
So round 21 of the AFL season 2025 about to commence with a genuine rivalry, a newish rivalry that's lasted about a decade. But this is another chapter. The Dogs and the Giants under the lid. Away we go. English goes early. Callahan's quick tap to Tom Green, who just floats a high one towards forward 50. Stringer couldn't read it. Cleary's quick hands to Baker. Then Baker, just a little chip along the wing, and Sanders with the mark, and the Dogs through Richards. Once he gets going, they can be very fast. Quick palm off to Liberatore inside 50, and the Darcy direction didn't mark. Got a boot to it, it bounces through. So agile, the young man. 6 goals last week, his first in 33 seconds.
Well, Sam Darcy was the option down the line, and then the ball shifted and came back towards the middle part of the ground. So many left footers through this Dogs midfield is they do have that weapon to come inside on their left foot. And from here you can see the play looks like it's going to actually continue along the boundary. Fantastic mark here. As soon as this little step inside and the handball, and all of a sudden you can see Darcy gets the dominant position on Sam Taylor, and the kick goes out the front, and a great little finish here with the dribble kick.
This is why Ed Richards is a top liner in our competition. He wants corridor. He hunts corridor, and that's where the elite do their work. Right through the middle of the field, you get angles going inside forward 50, and good luck, Sam Taylor, if you're going to get that quality of supply.
Perfect start to Darcy and the Dogs. Briggs favoured by the bounce. It'll be recalled.
Just keep an eye on that right leg of Darcy. He's just hobbling around a tiny bit. He's been rubbing just above the quad, overstretched it in that contest.
So good in the air, but so mobile when it gets to ground, as evidenced by Green. Second time he's given it to Callahan, straight out of the middle. Sends a long ball down towards Hogan. Cadman comes in from the side. Jones gets a handy little tap on it. Here he's stringing, no room to move. Gets the hand pass away. Back towards Jones, runs out of room. And then Dale will be happy to have scored it.
That's a big job for Luke Cleary on Jake Stringer, number 3 player rated in the last 6 weeks.
And this is the worry, Jack. We've seen him burst onto clearance situations here. Stringer at pace. Does he do it early?
So early foray forward for the Giants. Briggs and English to Baker, knew where he was, and then just a wobbly high one back inside the centre square. Norton went up and earns himself a free kick.
Career high 7 last week. Across to the other headband in Baker. Back in board so they can access the corridor again. Dangerous from Bontempelli. Sends it deep. Darcy's got 2 to beat, not past him. And again, it just drifts out the back.
Yeah, well called, Howie. Again, they arc back into the corridor, and that's the threat the Dogs are putting to the defensive players, really, of the Giants, who have to get their positioning absolutely spot on. They did on that occasion.
Briggs wins it down, and then just a little hack kick out. It's got to be insufficient intent, and it is off the boot of McMullen. He brought back into play. It's in the hands of Dale.
Received from O'Donnell. He's got the spread on through Rory Lobb.
He's got every Giants player ahead of him here, so they're just trying to draw them out, create some space for Darcy. English is down there too.
It's a long ball, and Poulter, with all the big guns up there, has managed to sneak out into the flank.
Yeah, so sometimes you can bemoan that kick backwards thinking you're going further away from goal, but it's there for a system actually to then spread the defence. Every 18 players, so all 18 players of the Giants in front of the kicker there, so you've got to find space somewhere, and they find space here through Poulter.
Picked up in the 2023 mid-season draft after originally being picked up by the Pies in 2020, picked 30. 6th goal for the season. He's kicked 1 goal. Long range, right to the top of the square. If Norton doesn't get you and Darcy doesn't get you, then English floats down and gets the job done.
Well, nowhere to hide when the opposing ruckman there, Kieran Briggs, he's just standing there. He's just been beaten cold by Tim English. Should convert from here.
English. What a start from the Dogs. A couple of early ones on the board. And a push and shove as well. He gave it to Connor Iden on the way past. Not too concerned, the big fella. And he's got one in the back pocket already.
It's his 12th goal for the year. It's a pretty good return from the ruckman. He'd be very happy with that if you were Luke Beveridge, but that's the challenge they pose. Everyone's looking at Darcy. Where are you going? They're looking at Norton, and they allow the ruckman to sneak in.
Not often the ruck does push down when there's a long shot like this. Usually they're setting up, but they obviously see this as an opportunity to challenge. No third in as well, which hurts the Giants here. Sam Taylor was the third in, got caught under the ball at that point there.
This is Sam Darcy Jono was talking about. We saw him with a hyperextension on the left that caused him all sorts of trouble, and this time it was on the right. He looks okay.
So great start for the Dogs. Back in the middle. Liberatore wins the football. Standing start English. Skies one towards centre half forward. Waiting underneath of it was McNeil, grabbed by Williams. Angwin grabbed him, and then Poulter's hurried kick. Alia's the first to meet it. Norton pressures him, grabbed by Bontempelli. It's going to be a free kick, though. It's going to Alia.
Dishes immediately by hand. Iden streaks off the defensive line. Makes it pretty tough for Harvey Thomas and Johannesson. The Norm Smith medalist got a fist and completed the mark.
So which forward is he going to target here? Johannesson. Towards full forward. English waits at the back. Alia goes the fist. Grabbed by Whitfield. Taken to ground. And a stoppage.
And that's the one thing you've got to be super careful of when you come up against the Bulldogs is if you get too Sam Darcy focused, you leave a lot of players on the ground, and the Dogs still are very good at ground ball goals.
English already kicked one. Dishes off immediately, but just spreading it wide was Garcia.
King Luke Beveridge said that the Dogs prepare themselves mentally for a fast start against the Giants that are usually pretty confrontational, and he'd be wrapped with this.
Oh, this is an unbelievable start, really. They've dominated territory. They've lost the first couple of centre bounce clearances, but after that, make it very difficult for the Tsunami to get rolling.
So Ash, full extension on the kick, over the top of the head of Brown, grabbed by Dale. Racked up the possessions a couple of weeks ago, hits the chest of McNeil so they can build again here, the Dogs. He's on the flank, heads towards the pockets in the Darcy direction. Bontempelli looking to Crumb. Green, McMullen, hot handball, too hot for Ash and out.
Well, Bontempelli's pushed forward now, and Iden's taking him. This is where he can do his best work at stoppage. When you've got the backman opposed to probably the best midfielder in the competition, proves a real handful.
Iden's watching Bontempelli, not the football as it comes in. Bontempelli immediately gets a metre on him. Now Iden tries to tack back in behind him. Falls to Dale. Long ball deep forward. Options galore. Darcy, he was held. He's got a free kick. And he'll line up for a second.
This is what the height of Sam Darcy does to you as well. Clearly, Sam Taylor wants to be physical with Darcy. It's one of the ones that, you, as a key defender, you have to. Just gets the arm over the shoulder there, trying to get an early jump.
Inside 57-1. Darcy for a second. What about the Dogs? Already 3 on the board.
Just threats everywhere. Threats everywhere in the forward line. I mean, English is snuck down. You've got Norton out of control. You've got Darcy, who's, I think, taking the whole focus of this back six. They're that nervous about him getting a clean jump of the ball. They're grabbing. They're 2v1, opening up opportunities elsewhere. 3-goal start. They're away, the Dogs. It's the best. It's the best players too. You can just see here the threat at stoppage. Bontempelli we touched on. They lock it in. It's a quick kick out. He's just such a difficult matchup, Jack. If he jumps, you're done. You've got to do something early and run the risk of the free kick.
So in the first 9 minutes of play, GWS have been inside the forward 50 once. English towards Richards over his head, grabbed by Angwin, handball to the advantage. O'Halloran, who then spears one inside 50. That's better. That is better, and straight lace out of the chest of Stringer.
Yeah, Nathan Buckley liked that kick there, just an absolute worm burner, but it went to the right spot. Rory Lobb looking to get back and help on Hogan. Stringer just peeled off to the right, found himself in 10 metres of space.
Kick 3 last week, arguably the mark of the round a couple of weeks ago. Swings around directly in front. And that wasn't his best effort, to say the least.
It's a shame because the work from Angwin in the middle was brilliant. To put a handball into space, to allow Halloran out the front. Needed some reward.
Bustlinger goes back into the corridor. Runs on past Bontempelli, who wants corridor himself. It's been a real focus early for the Dogs. Happy to split it out to the city side wing. Good contest. Himmelberg might have infringed though.
That's a few free kicks now the Giants have given down back. Obviously the pressure of the inside 50s, but just their positioning, not the dominant positioning that we're used to with them.
So McNeil just taking a bit of extra time here. Probes one along the line. No Mark Richards. Grabbed by Norton. Inboard Baker and Williams could have raffled it. Williams dancing through the pack. And then it was a bit of a mung kick, but it works. English. So after Darcy has gone back and kicked his second, English is now looking for his second kingy.
Yeah, and this is the beauty. I think they cause a lot of confusion with their rucks at the moment. Is Darcy in the ruck? Is it English in the ruck? Have they swapped? And they just confuse the opposition ruckman. Not generally hard to confuse the ruckman, but they get them on this occasion.
So Tim English looking for his 13th goal this year. Trots in. And he's going to glance it this time to the left.
So Kieran Briggs sitting on the bench at the moment. It's Jake Riccardi who's rucking against Tim English. So this is something you're going to see all night, I reckon. As soon as they see Riccardi in the ruck, it's the 213-centimetre Tim English. He's going to push hard forward and challenge him in the air.
Eight to 2, the inside 50 count. Dogs dominating around the ground on the scoreboard. Baker. Dale with a nice little step, low ball. Norton looks confident on the lead. Strong mark out in front of his eyes. Pierces one inside 50. Here comes Darcy again. Alia stands in the hole and takes a good grab.
It's a good mark. They're just getting a metre here and there, the forwards for the Dogs. When you play one-on-one, you can be made look silly pretty quickly.
Himmelberg. He's kicked 2 goals twice against the Dogs in the history of their rivalry. Stringer, looping handball. O'Halloran running hard as he always does. Eventually Riccardi's kick inside 50. It's offline. Cadman was a couple of steps behind O'Donnell and said, who was that to? And then Richards bops up and goes out wide to Baker.
Covering K's early is Baker. Long ball out in front of Williams. Just too much on it for him.
The call was Cadman was out the back looking for the one. He needed to come up at Riccardi there. You can see we asked where Toby Green was sitting in the stacks box. Adam Kingsley told he's there with Josh Kelly as well. You can see Brett Daniels in the top left-hand corner as well. So very important players that aren't out there at the moment.
Patted down by English.
It's a good stoush between Dunstall and Montagna in the pre-game.
What a many.
Jason's point is that he's not much use to him in the stats box, Jack.
It's a valid one, David.
O'Halloran looking for options, and short is the option. Angwin. Then inboard this time. Himmelberg. So they'll just probe it around. Callaghan. They're going nowhere fast. Now he's going to wheel and go. So centering kick to the top of the square. Hogan set himself over his head. McMullen grabbed it. They grabbed him, but it was high.
He lowered, drew the high tackle. There's not a lot the Dogs player could do there. Almost has to bail out of the tackle attempt in the end. This comes in hot.
So earns himself a shot at goal. It'll be directly in front and 30 metres out. So McMullen, set shot, completely off the side of the boot. Bit of a shocker.
That's 2 so far for the Giants. You think they should have kicked goals from.
Dale favours the near side.
Been able to move the ball successfully from here, the Dogs.
Well played.
Good work from Callahan.
He's got Riccardi on Johannesson in the pocket if he wants it. That's the mismatch.
Sends it deep down towards Hogan. There's a second footy on the ground. Coming in from the side with a clever tap was Jones. That second footy's still in the way. But Riccardi only needs one of them. And the Giants are on the board. Confusion reigning down there at the moment.
Is that a new rule in AFL? They're multi-ball. Just throwing another puck in there.
Well, it's the first time the Giants have been able to intercept the ball in their forward half. And that's going to be so critical. We know the Dogs have moved the ball pretty easily in the first 15 minutes or 10 minutes of this quarter, but Callahan was able to cut that off, and they are dangerous. I mean, both forward lines are stacked tonight. No Toby Green clearly in the Giants forward line, but there's enough talent down there to make it work. Dangerous position to be leaving your direct opponent.
A little tap here by Darcy Jones as well, just to keep it live. See that little deft tap. And being clean at ground level is so important in a forward line that you're going to have key forwards, that you will get opportunities at ground level. They will create a contest. If you're a small forward, show up in front and make sure you are clean.
So the Giants just working into the contest now. It's Cornelio places a strong tackle.
Rory Lobb has stepped into the ruck for the Western Bulldogs.
Briggs, Green beats a couple. Midfield grabbed by Sanders, holding the football.
Move out, outside 5, time on.
So Sanders straight down the corridor. Darcy, he was met by the big tall man in Briggs, but he's going to be paid the mark.
Gee, that's an explosive lead. You'll see on replay just how quickly Darcy gets into full flight from the square. Little block on, just cost Taylor a metre. And once he got that separation, it was all over. Great team first football from the forward 50 of the Dogs. They know their star power down there. They've just got to give this man a chance.
So he's directly in front. He's aiming up with that regular right eye closed. He's kicked the 2 already. The young work in progress has just missed to the left that time.
So a bit back here last Saturday night. 11 from Jeremy Cameron. Third shot already for Sam Darcy tonight, halfway through the first quarter.
Woodfield, Ash. Pinpoint to Himmelberg.
You just see him looking inside, trying to find this space to get the tsunami up and going. Speed on ball now.
And back through Whitfield. Now Iden. And eventually gets to Taylor.
Taylor skirting around him as Ash. And eventually goes long down the line. Riccardi had a second crack at it, couldn't bring it down. Garcia, little tunnel ball up against the line, and it's eventually going to roll out.
So the Dogs sitting in that space of the drawback, wanting to protect it. The Giants going around them on that occasion.
Very low pressure tonight. 161, 155. AFL average is up over 170. It's almost bruised free at the minute.
Ward looking on. Inside Shane Mumford.
It's a good goal, King. Even at stoppage here, we've had a couple now in front of us. There's no aggression in the body across. Everyone's just sort of going and standing in their positions and trying to get that pure hit rather than the contest and that competitive nature we know from both these teams.
Briggs looks across at Lobb. Tries to get in front position. Off the ground. Pretty clever was Cornelio. Really well played. Pushing off his man was Luke Cleary. Now gets it on to Liberatore. High ball. West will stay down to Darcy.
And that's exactly how Sam Taylor needs to play Sam Darcy. It's nearly the hand under the armpit of Darcy and sort of try and shift his centre of gravity to move him away from where the ball drop's going to be. Contact early, critically important. If Darcy can extend, he's just going to continue to take marks.
Bontempelli back on the field.
Briggs Attempted to get it to Green. Stolen by Sanders. Given to Garcia. Poulter.
Angles. Just defeating him with angles at the moment. Every kick that's gone inside forward 50 has almost been from a corridor type area, but it's had an angle attached to it, Jack. And Aliir didn't do a lot wrong here. He's in a really aggressive position, guarding the corridor, the likely hit zone, and then just gets beaten by a quality kick.
So Caleb Poulter, he's had a sighter already, this time from about 43 metres. And it's a stronger kick, and it's a straighter kick for their fourth.
Well, that's a fourth mark inside 50 for the Dogs. Just smashing him in the air down there.
When you speak about angles, and I think they're hell-bent on protecting the lead-up space of Sam Darcy. So all the Giants players you can see on that skinny side of the ground thinking that's where they need to defend. The Dogs have thought about this. They're actually trying to use the fatter side of the ground where the space is. Now, it does come with an element of risk because you could turn the ball over there and then the rest of the ground is there for the Giants to use. But their skills inside forward 50 and the space that the forwards have got to lead into has led to the fourth mark inside 50 and the way they've started this game.
2 tackles for the Giants so far. 2 tackles for a quarter of football.
Darcy's got a couple English and Poulter with Riccardi, the only goal for the Giants. 19-point margin. He calls it for the second time for the evening. Kennedy standing alongside Green. Griggs trying to muscle it out of the middle. English having a little impact on it. Bontempelli to the spread of Bramble. Worked inside to Liberatore. So another good build-up. No, but up the fat side. No, he goes back in skinny again. Norton hits the pack hard. They fall down all around him. Poor chain of hand pass. And Fonte, the rising star knob for the week, sends it out to a 2-on-1.
Foot races on. Cleary and also out there Brown coming in to assist O'Donnell, and they wrap him up.
Aaron Norton really just needed to hold out there. Marcus Bontempelli looked like he was going to take the easiest mark inside forward 50, but forwards drawn to the ball.
Briggs goes early. English stays down. Retrieve for Sharon. Liberatore backed out of the contest. And as far as Himmelberg.
Going to move it on. His fourth touch to Whitfield.
They've trapped him now, the Dogs. Got to make sure that this kick goes long down the line. Can't give up this one in the middle.
Oh, they're about to. Callahan, it was stolen by Poulter. Norton, Richards, can they put them to the sword? Kick inboard to West.
Well, it's high risk, high reward. When you pull the ball back into the corridor, it sounds terrific, those little kicks on the 45-degree angle, 25 metres, but if you miss them, you pay a hell of a price at this level. Poulter's been very good. He's been aware, he's been alert. Straight back into the corridor again.
Riley West kicked 3 goals against the Giants in their encounter earlier in the year in round 7 and kicked 3 last week. So he's loving some goal time at the moment and kicks their 5th.
This is the dream start for the Western Bulldogs.
Well, they can't move the ball, the Giants. They've been clamped, haven't they? And they've been forced long down the line. They haven't had corridor access. And I think that's the beauty of the Dogs coming through the corridor. They leave their numbers in there, Jack. If you do win the ball back, you generally have to go wide.
Yeah, and this is the game style that the Giants play. Is you live and die by the sword here. And once again, this entry goes inside 50 on an angle. You have the easy kick there. Sam Darcy still brings Lee Aliir in, but they take it across the other side of the ground, try and expose the Giants' defence, which is predominantly one-on-one, which not a lot of teams do defend one-on-one. Usually there's a spare down there from the wing to help. They have really exposed them on angles.
Riley West, a 33rd goal of the season in 20 matches. So his best season haul. Good numbers for a small forward. Libba trying to get off Green, who was held. Just grabbed his arm, Green, and but gratefully accepts the free kick, takes a couple of steps. Big boys will come again. Darcy got 2 hands to a Poulter who's been everywhere. Down towards Norton. Lear battling in the end. Needs to get rid of it. Iden. Whitfield. Slight fumble. Whitfield just wobbles it out of defence. Attacking it was Jones. Important ball to be won. The Giants need to hold it in there. Richards tries to step through. Does pretty well in the end. Get under pressure will be Jones as soon as he takes possession. And Green goes across the face.
So it's almost a 50-50. It's going to be a free kick. It's going to O'Halloran against Fraser. The Giants desperate to leave D50 out to Ash. So he thinks he's switching play again. Floats out to Taylor. And Taylor further afield to Whitfield. And then he sinks the boot into it towards Jones. But Kennedy... What a recruit he's been for the Dogs. Having a great year.
The Dogs are just pairing off well on defence. 1v1 all over the ground, finding a Giants player really quickly, and that gives them the chance to then force those long kicks. They don't want to be kicking that to Darcy Jones long down the line.
Golden 7 disposals for the turn for Poulter. Norton just fumbles it as he tried to accelerate. Manages to keep it in towards Darcy. He's had 3 shots for 2 goals and a behind already this evening. Cannons into the back of a Giant.
I'm not sure how often Adam Kingsley can give his team a serious rev. We all heard about the halftime rev last week. I tell you what, there might be another one coming at quarter time.
So that to it as well, the free kick.
They just don't look alert. They don't look invested in the contest.
It's going to be cumbersome at the moment as well. He's accepting this from the Bulldogs.
Can't move the ball.
So Fraser receives the free kick. It was one of the worst kicks you've seen off the boot and almost floated through and hit the bottom of the post.
Lucky Sam Taylor was there, otherwise that was rolling through.
It was that bad, it was almost brilliant. But this has been the problem. The Giants haven't been able to move from here, the ball from here. And this is their trademark. It's their signature, their ball movement. So the Dogs have done a great job defensively.
16 inside 50s to the Dog, just 5 for the Giants. McCarty spoils it down to Green. Cut off though by O'Donnell. Darcy lines one up. What a pass that is to Poulter, who's been very busy.
Stopping the pop, 7 disposals, 5 kicks and throwing a goal.
17 inside 50s to 5. They're lucky it's only 26 points.
So a throw in again deep in the Dogs forward 50. English working at the back. Green through Cornelio under the bus. They got him, and then Ash, rapid fire handball gathered by O'Halloran. And spearing kick to Stringer.
Premiership Dog is getting booed by his former crowd. He's turned it over.
That's the 10th time they've done it already, the Dogs forward half.
Johannesson looks down in the Darcy direction. Takes a little bit off the kick. English. Got too many tall, strong options down there at the moment.
Yeah, they do. They're outsizing the Giants in the forward 50, and it's been Tim English and the ruck who's been pushing forward too.
This from Johannesson. He leaves his man Bedford to come forward to guard 3 Giants who are on the tear. That's outstanding play, and we haven't often said that about Jason this season. His intercept work there. He's reading the cues. They can't move the ball, the Giants. They really can't.
When he kicked the second goal of the match, did Tim English. For a 6th for the term for the Dogs. Hits it well, English. Hits it perfectly. He's got 2. The Dogs have got 6. And they lead by 32 points in the first term.
He's been fantastic pushing forward, Tim English.
I just think sometimes you've got to recognise individual brilliance. And what Johannesson did there gets a goal for his team. That's the 5th goal from forward half turnovers in a quarter of football. Just have a look here. You've got 3 Giants at the point of the square. They are away. If Johannesson doesn't come forward and intercept that ball, it'll be a stroll-in goal at the other end. That vision you showed the pre-game where they open up that vacuum into the forward 50, it would have been an easy opportunity for them. Brilliant play, Jason Johannesson.
And this is the warts for the Giants. They do give up a lot of inside 50s. the third worst team in the competition for giving up inside 50s. They've had opportunities to score from that from a back half, but tonight, because of the marks inside 50, there's no tsunami, there's no opportunity for the tsunami either.
So 40 plays 8, inside 50s 18 to 5. Back in the middle, Bontempelli over the top. Callahan and a Buller. Cardi in the run. Bontempelli. Sanders there uses Bramble. Just brilliant at winning the football, the Bont. Does it so many times, so brilliantly, as Poulter then... What about that for a pass to Norton? They are on the Dogs.
Just exposing the Giants, even overcorrected then to go and protect the fat side of the ground where the ball has predominantly gone. Aaron Norton's the one that ducks back up, and you can see he gets behind Lee Kalir. This is great forward craft. Just that little turn of the hips. It looks like you're going out the back, but you're actually creating your own space.
So Aaron Norton, who kicked 7 last week. A shot from 49, and not this time.
That's where I've seen Caleb Poulter put a better quarter together. I mean, he has been everywhere, and they're all lighting up. The forward 50, they know they've got one-on-one matchups they're enjoying. All the focus is on Darcy, and the perceived lesser lights are getting involved.
8 disposals for Poulter, 4 score involvements, 2 inside 50s and a goal. Mullen deep in defence, just haven't been able to get it over the halfway mark. 19 to 5 now, the inside 50s. And Lobb just kills the ball on the outer side to again prevent the Giants moving forward.
And the distance that the forwards are away from the ball at the moment. We haven't seen much of Aaron Cabin, we haven't seen much of Jesse Hogan, we haven't seen much of Jake Stringer. They're lengthening really early to try and create that space, but at the moment the Bulldogs are just setting up the wall, and it's repeat inside 50s.
Last 15 seconds of the quarter.
I just wonder if this is tactical or if this is just attitude. They're just not invested at the moment, the Giants.
English to Richards with the clock against him. And he kicks on the siren. Oh, no. So, what a start it's been for the Dogs with 2 goals each to Darcy and English and singles for West. And Poulter, there he is. He's had a terrific first quarter with 8 disposals, 6 kicks and 1 goal. Big start for the Western Bulldogs.
Poulter's had 8, Norton 7, Whitfield 8, Green 7. Big quarter-time lead tomorrow night. The Hawks have picked the 4 big talls. They head across the border, taking on Adelaide at home. Tough task. You'll see it all right here at 6:30 on Fox.
All right, folks, hey, welcome in. I tell you what, Thursday night football, it started off big time for the Western Bulldogs. Addy G, what's going on? Flag mantle? What do you mean flag mantle? What about pie mantle? Yeah, go Pies. What's happening? Addy G, Elvin, Ryan, welcome in. I tell you what an opening term there by the Western Bulldogs. Look, folks, it looks like there's just one team that's really come out to play so far in this opening term. One team that wants this victory, and of course that is the Western Bulldogs. They come out absolutely on fire, and I tell you what, they do look... okay, I'll go Bulldogs to help flag mantle. Get up higher in the ladder. That's it. It's not all, but I tell you what, I don't know who you'd want to play first in the week, in the first week of the finals if both of these teams get in, Bulldogs or Giants. You know, I'd prefer to play the Giants than the Bulldogs. Bulldogs look so dangerous going into their forward 50, those big targets up there, English and, my gosh, the others absolutely on fire. Let's just have a look at the player stats. Actually, there we go. Just for the Western Bulldogs fans, that is the live ladder. I tell you what, it's scary in there because the Western Bulldogs now jumping up into 8th position, only a game out of the top 4, and their percentage is better than all teams outside of the top 2 teams. Can you believe it? So they're a real threat, the Western Bulldogs. The Giants are on 52. You're right, though. If the Giants lose tonight, that's going to help Fremantle. If Freo can win this week, there we go. They'll jump right up. Just looking at the goal scorers, though, have a look. Tim English, Sam Darcy, I tell you what, they look dangerous down there, both doing the job. The Giants don't know where to go when the Bulldogs are kicking inside their forward 50. Teenage Shouty, the famous Teenage in the house. What's going on? What's going on? There we go. English, Darcy, the only 2 multiple goal scorers, 2 each for the Bulldogs. Riley West and Caleb Poulter, actually, he's had a ring-a-ding-ding opening first term as well. He's kicked a goal, 8 disposals, doing very nicely. Jake Riccardi, the only goal scorer there for the GWS Giants. I tell you what, they need to get a little bit of a wriggle on the Giants if they want to kick a few goals. Lockie Whitfield, Caleb Poulter topped the table, both with 6 kicks, 2 handballs. There we go. 1 from each side there. Tom Green on 7 with Tim English. Tim English just has 7 disposals. He's had 7 hit-outs, 3 clearances, 5 kicks for 2 goals, 1. Tell you what, they've got some tall timber down forward when they're there. Darcy, English, Bont, when they're down there, they just don't know who to... they don't know who to defend. The Giants. There we go. Libba up to 6. Norton. Norton's down there as a bit of a spearhead as well. 6 touches, 3 and 3. Just the one behind. He's had a shot on goal. But I tell you what, it's going to be a tough night there for the Giants. 6 to Lockie Ash. Jake Stringer just with a 4, 1 behind as we roll on down there. Sam Darcy, I tell you what, he's a presence, isn't he? I think he could be in for a big night. 4 touches, 4 kicks, 2 goals, 1 so far in the opening term. I wouldn't mind having a look at the inside 50s because it seemed to live down in the Bulldogs forward 50 in that opening term. As I said, the Giants actually do allow opposition, third worst in the team, and letting the inside 50s in. Just looking at the disposals for the team, Bulldogs are only plus 15, but I tell you what, they're doing well. The Giants, they're just, their decision-making isn't quite the best, and we go down to that inside 50, just as what we were saying there, folks. Have a look at this. If you don't mind umpire, the Western Bulldogs, 20 inside 50s in the opening term. Wow. They're nearly halfway at their season average already, just for a quarter of the game. And, of course, the Giants, 5 inside 50s. So the Bulldogs, 4 times as many inside 50s as the Giants, of course. Western Bulldogs, 11 scoring shots for their 20 inside 50s. 3 scoring shots for the Giants, 5. But I tell you what, Giants aren't going to do much if they can't get inside their forward 50. Give their forwards a little bit of a chance. Free kicks, 9 to 5. There we go. There was plenty in there given to the Bullies that opening quarter. And, of course, the hit-outs, Giants are +1. Clearances, +2 to the Dogs. Centre clearances all tied up. Contested possession, 34-24 uncontested. Turnovers, as we were just saying, really Giants doing some pretty ordinary turnovers there. Bad decision-making. 8 turnovers from the Dogs. That is fantastic. There we go. As we were saying again, marks inside 50. The Dogs, I tell you what, they've got plenty of options down there. Plenty of options with their tools. The Giants only the 1 mark inside 50. Tell you what, there wants to be a little bit more pressure put on in this game. Pretty ordinary by both sides at the moment. Their tackle, their pressure. There's not really that much argy-bargy in the game at the moment. That could come into it, especially if the Giants... start to trail by a bit more, but only 9 tackles each. 4 of those tackles coming inside the Dogs forward 50, which is good. But I tell you what, both teams need to lift their pressure in this because it's a pretty good rivalry, this one, the Western Bulldogs and the Giants. All right, folks, hey, let's head back down to the ground for the bounce of the ball for the second quarter. The Giants have got some work to do. It's the Dogs by 33 points.
So if I was Adam Kingsley, I would have been on the midfield and said, make sure you force them wide. Make the job easier for the guys behind the ball.
So 33 points at quarter time. On Thursday night football, as we commence the second quarter. It's tapped down to Cornelio. Skies 1 long inside 50. No Mark Riccardi. Goes to ground. Bramble at the bottom and a ball up.
Good signs early, just balling forward half. It's what Adam Kings will be focusing on. They need it.
Briggs, English, wrap each other up in the contest. Bontempelli just cruises through to Cleary. He's pressured from behind, just got a kick away. Chance now for the Giants from McMullen. Back to Callahan, just hooks it round the body. Hogan will come from 3 deep. They've got the big boys up forward and then the big fellas down back. Rory Lobb with the intercept.
That sort of entry suits Lobb. Going to be looking for something a bit more clearer and obvious.
So Lobb has a bit of a scamper, and then Bontempelli just glances off Cornelio, makes it look easy, short to Kennedy, and then he'll use Bontempelli again, who glides through the centre, and then a penetrating ball, and then McNeil with the little nudge, and it's good enough.
It was the little nudge, but it was at the perfect time there. Got out the back.
Stay right behind.
Marcus Bontempelli, just with the penetration that he's got on his kick. You can't let Marcus Bontempelli kick a short one and then get the handball back again. You've got to be on red alert there. Because if he's kicking the ball inside 50, it's usually hitting a Bulldogs player for a mark.
So McNeil looking for his 14th goal this year. And it's a beautiful kick off the boot, straight through the centre. And the Dogs continue where they left off.
So again, it's not necessarily Sam Darcy that's the target. So they've taken 8 marks inside 50, the Dogs, and Darcy's yet to take one. But his roll down there is tremendous. It's allowing lesser talent to get to healthy space, and the Bont was good enough to find McNeil on that occasion. So English has taken 3 marks inside 50. Then you've got Poulter with 2, Weston McNeil with 1, and obviously Aaron Norton, who took one very early. So this is just fantastic ball use and composure from the Dogs in the forward half of the field.
Stephen Coniglio is the one that let Marcus Bontempelli go and to kick that there. Got beaten in the mark, which you think Bontempelli will always beat Coniglio one-on-one. You've got to do the follow-up there. You just cannot let Bontempelli go 1-2.
Game high 39-point margin. Giants in all sorts. Briggs. Callahan off the right. High ball inside. There's a bit of a push and a shove. And everything going the way of the Dogs at the moment.
Jesse's
He just loves that straight high ball. Does Rory Lobb.
So called not 15, Liberatore. That's dangerous. Jones was lurking, but Dale races off with it and then sends it up the corridor, and Aliir with a little bit of air and takes a good grab.
Did well. Now's a chance for some run. A long ball deep forward. Again, it favours Lobb, who got one in the side and will get the free kick against Hogan.
It's the same kick. It's not to the advantage of Hogan. It's just a high bombed entry, and he'll pick that off all day, Rory Lobb.
So if that's what he loves, what doesn't he want, Rory Lobb?
Oh, angles. He just doesn't want to be trapped on a lead. I mean, Hogan was on his bike there, a reasonable kick, and he gets him. This man's getting busy.
Bontempelli, 7 touches so far. Still a contest, no mark. Spills free. McMullen grabs. A little bit of volleyball work. Callahan off a standing start. Long ball. Hogan almost nudged into it. Grabbed by Kennedy. Cornelio's got him.
Even the way the kick comes in, I would have loved to see that last one there actually going just a little bit flatter. Challenge them in a different way.
We saw from that previous contest, Lobb, Liberatore, busts the tackle. Johannesson does the same. Handball club starts to operate. Bontempelli onto Norton. Back to Bontempelli again. He just cruises, takes a casual couple of bounces. Dishes off by hand to McNeil. Already kicked one. Received it from Bontempelli.
Oh.
Would have been goal of the night.
It was the classic Dogs play, inside to out, heavy traffic, take the ball to the outside, Bond explodes out the front, and you're away. Great work from Johannesson again. Just leaves them standing.
Back in by Ash, who bumps it to Iden. Back to Ash, short one, Whitfield. He's paid it.
Well, they need to get going now. They need to take some risks, the Giants. Have been playing pretty boring footy, long straight down the line.
So Whitfield, who's just in 2 minds here to Ash, and now they horseshoe it to the outer side, where it's taken by Iden. Plays on, down the line again. Brown at the back, was in seat 1A that time, but it was touched, so he had to play on, and then Cleary had him round the neck, so he gets a free kick.
Come back inboard, hangs it up for a while in front of Fonte and McNeil. Fonte gets the job done, and the further switches on. So trying to move the ball around and touch the Giants now. Ash progresses it forward to Whitfield. Nothing on in the corridor, which is what Lockie wants, but you can see there's nothing there. Now the short lead comes into the hole. And it's from Fonte.
It's tentative, isn't it? As they poke it around. Fonte. Now an entry inside 50. It's in the Hogan direction, but it was too short, and English was the man in the spot.
Dale. They hold off him, so he's got time to change his mind a couple of times to lob. Slides one down the line as far as Jones. Taylor. Great smother. Norton picks it up. Now they're away again through the middle. Richards. Danger ahead. He's got nothing, so he has to stop and wait for the runners to come. They do now through Fraser, who does really well off the outside of the boot. Free kick. He's everywhere at the moment.
Mistake after mistake here. Lockie Ash, he needs to know that Ed Richards is a left footer. He's always going to come back onto that left side there. The pick up by Fraser as well was fantastic. And then it wasn't a drop punt. It was a sort of little floating kick just to get it out in front of McNeil. But he just made a case for him to actually get his hands on the ball, and the free kick was given.
Well, Sam Taylor's entitled to be surprised. In the lowest of pressure games I've seen in a long time, that Aaron Norton come in and smother that ball was brilliant.
Kick 1-1 for the term alone. As Lachlan McNeil. Second set shot for the term. Second goal for the term. McNeil's got a couple. The Western Bulldogs early in the second, lead it by 46 points.
Yeah, it's off the back of the defensive work from Norton. I mean, that's 7 goals to 1 on turnover, and they're just making them pay. Norton here, a brilliant smother. I'd love to know the strike rate of scoring after he smothered the ball, Jack, because everyone's caught out of position. And just have a look at this here, just perfect tech. We've just missed it there, and then they're away. You can see the Dogs' mids, they just light up. They sense an opportunity and forward they come. Love that pick-up.
Well, it's all compounded by the fact that we spoke about this being a low-pressure game. For the game, the Giants are at 155. For the quarter, they're at 133. That is zero pressure.
.40 goals in his career. McNeil 2 tonight. Fraser to Kennedy. Kennedy's kick towards forward 50. And it's going to be a free kick this time. It's going to the Giants. And Himmelberg.
Alter just obstructed him. So Himmelberg gets the free kick. Winds one down the line to Hogan. He's just worked underneath the football. Thomas back in the side. McMullen. Now past Stymie. Kennedy's there. Back to Buslinger. Fraser gives up ground.
So lob. Rory can just have an amble along the back line. And his kicks just a little bit hot, but English was all over it, controlled it well in the finish. And then to Dale, eventually full extension on the kick. Taylor leads out. Not a lot of communication out there. Himmelberg backing back, and the Dogs are in the football. Poulter by hand to Garcia. He retreats back. They've got the numbers. Williams then tight ropes the boundary, looking in the Poulter direction, who had such a great first quarter. Taylor got a fingertip to it now.
Turns down there for McMullen. Looks like a left ankle. He's got caught under the tackle there from Richards.
It's a syndesmosis sort of mechanism, that one.
Ralston the sub for the Giants. Vandermeer for the Dogs. Richards. Another possession. Dogs to a contest. Tapped away from McCarty. Garcia at ground level. Cuts his way through a couple. Goes back to Lob. Drops it towards Darcy. Too much on it. Fist came when the mark could have been taken. Poulter. Clever little kick out by West. Back to Kennedy and Scott required. They're doing it easily at the moment, the Dogs. Could be a 50. Not sure what the Dogs fans have got to complain about. They're up by 46 points. Kennedy will line up for his first. McMullen has a further discussion with the medical team.
Just rolling out a stoppage here at the moment, the Dogs.
Kennedy around the body. They can do no wrong, the Dogs. 3-point margin, and they are decimating the Giants.
Oh, they are on fire. Dogs did their top 5 Bulldogs of all time during the week. Caleb Poulter's making a late charge. Making the latest of charges, but he's been involved in everything. He's been terrific, and they're having trouble clamping the small forwards now who are getting really busy.
Yeah, and they're getting forward. Tim English is just working Jake McCarty over. In every contest, if he doesn't get involved, he just peels out here, top of the goal square. You can see players drawn to him. Angwin was the one. The man they got from the Carlton Football Club has had a fantastic year. He just gives them a weapon forward and gives them another string to their bow in the midfield too, Matthew Kennedy.
Halloran worried out of it by Richards, and then to Fraser. His kick deflects off Sanders, who couldn't trap it. Fraser on the football on hands and knees, but Sanders was in fringe, so they can push forward again. The young gun just probes it towards Darcy through his fingertips. West couldn't at the back. Grabbed by Norton. He scooped it up well. Was hoping for Fraser. Plenty of defence there, though. Norton grabbed it again, working hard. The umpire wants it.
Geez, Aaron Norton looks dynamic in the air and on ground too. Just a couple of opportunities to bodyline the ball there, and he just grabbed it. His intensity is through the roof at the moment.
Keep an eye on Poulter. He's been in everything. Green can't get his way out of the clearance.
Cardi and English doing the ruck work. Fraser. It is again Poulter working with Bontempelli. Cleary. Just the hat kick. Who can mark it? Norton or Darcy? Wow. Norton got the raffle.
It's the two best players on the ground at the moment for the Bulldogs. Joking about Caleb Poulter making a charge for the top 5 Bulldogs of all time. He was the one that got it out to Bontempelli.
Teddy Poulter.
Bontempelli, number 2 in that list, David. But this man here has had a fantastic second half of the year. Slow start. They had high hopes in pre-season.
Well, he's in some great form at the moment with an absolute bag of them last week. And he pokes it through for another one. This is an assassination.
There's really no other way to describe it. An assassination. It is. They have just jumped the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs have jumped the Giants early and have scored through plenty of avenues. See Bontempelli with the handball out here. We've seen kicks across the 50 to mark the lead. Then we've seen big contested marks like this. That's 10-1 contested marks around the ground. They have been beaten up in the air.
And I still think this is on the back of attitude. It's the Dogs knowing what's at stake, their season on the line, have to come and take a scalp tonight at Marvel. And have hit the ground running. The Giants, they just don't have the same level of investment at the minute.
7 unanswered goals. After a huge third term last week, the Giants are getting in touch with their own medicine at the moment. The Dogs dominating this game in every facet. Spills out to Bontempelli. Back to English. Lays it into Richards in a tight space. Another inside 50 ball. Norton. Paying the mark.
Incredible.
And at 50, it's going to be another goal for the Dogs. Bontempelli's getting involved with Whitfield and letting him know. And it's almost time to point at the scoreboard if you're in the Dogs jumper.
Incredible mark by Aaron Norton. Just the ability to hold front position and the deft tapping of the fingers to keep the ball in a position where he can take the mark. It's 50 metres. He'll knock this one home, and there is no Giants player on the mark.
No one on the mark as Norton rides it home, pumps up the crowd, and the Dogs are out by 64 points with still 10 minutes to go before the major break. I think Adam Kingsley gave it to them last week.
This is big brother versus little brother stuff. You just can't quite get there, Jack. He's just a little bit. Look at Garcia come through. Bang, bang, bang.
Tough.
Takes 3 bodies with him. Inside to out again, the Dogs. That's what they're famous for.
This is so difficult as well. You're going to see him tapping it, and all he's trying to do is just bring it into a position where he can get that second hand to it and mark it. Fantastic work here. Wow. That is a really, really good mark. And undisciplined by the Giants. I don't care how many points you're down by, you must have someone on the mark when you give away 50 metres.
Live ladder, the Giants started the night at 118.4. They've lost 5% in 40 minutes of football.
Liberatore, hack kick towards Baker, couldn't quite control it, but he got it to Garcia, then packs it to Kennedy, kicks it along the ground, and then Norton. They just keep the ball moving, and guess who's got it? Poulter! It's Poulter! What a game he's having. They're going to review it.
There was a sea of Giants in this game. I'm not sure whether he got through or not.
Score review. Umpire's hit the ball. Please confirm what the score would be.
Review underway. Actually hit the goal umpire, so he's just trying to work out what it was going to be. I think does it glance the post or our man Teddy Poulter? That's a tough call. Because the umpire hits the post, what will that do with the snicker?
Players are setting up like it's a point.
Well, it's going to be difficult to work out whether the ball hits the post or the umpire hits the post.
Do we know what the soft call was?
I don't think there was a soft call.
Okay, so
Reviewed it immediately.
right. Well, that's got to be interesting because Snicko's out, as you're saying there, Kingy.
Bad Pat.
Look, I feel like that's a goal.
Looks like a weird dance anyway.
It's interesting the umpire chose to bump.
But it's going to be tough because the umpire's shoulder is on the post.
Can't you, Snicko? I wouldn't mind seeing it though, just to see what sort of vibrations we've got.
Review complete. Looking at these angles, we can see there is no gap between the ball and the post. Decision on the scoreboard.
It's the first thing that's gone against the Dogs all night.
Well, I'm glad it's not a close game.
Oh, really? I don't know about that. I do not know about that.
Going off their chops. And they lead by 65 points in the second term in a season definer. She's a tough crowd down there. Himmelberg. Inside 50s 27 to 11. Possessions, they're plus 47 the Dogs, and the sub has been made. So Rouston come in, so McMullen with that ankle is out of the game.
Move it on. Play on.
So, Himmelberg. Kick in the Brown direction.
Advantage.
Free kick is against Buslinger, and then the kick further forward, grabbed by Bramble. Cleary backtracks. Kennedy. Handball looking for Bramble. Green is there, and it eventually just carries it over.
Just little things like that start to creep in where the player gets a free kick and you probably don't need to play on, you're on the boundary line, you just boot it forward. They've just lost their way at the moment, the Giants. There's no system, nothing for them.
Riggs down a teammate. Cornelio upended. So what's the first step back for the Giants? Just to get some positivity on the scoreboard, Jack.
Minus 50 possessions, so just getting your hands on the ball. Maybe just chip around.
Poor Cleary was hit hard there. And then Stringer scrambles a kick. Trapped by Dale, who just fumbled it. It's in the danger zone here. Bobbled out by O'Donnell to Kennedy, and then Buslinger can run away with it. Darted out to McNeil, and to Ivy with the spoil.
Yeah, you can look at all the stats you want. This is nothing to do with anything but attitude. And they've been humbled at contest. They're stepping out the front of stoppage now to move the ball moving from the defensive end to the forward 50 with ease. This is a good old-fashioned smacking here, and the coach will be livid.
It's 33 at quarter time, which was bad enough. It's now out to 65.
And the bloke that usually is the one they look to show the fight, unfortunately sitting in the stats box tonight.
Talking about the skipper, Toby Green, suspended for his work on Isaac Heaney.
I just wonder how many big sprays you can give your team week to week at half-time and get a response like you did at half-time. And Adam King's going to be thinking about that right now.
Bulldogs. Stand, please.
Kick to Lob.
I wouldn't sit front row at half-time.
Medical room.
I'd be down the back.
Baker shaping up towards Connor Iden. Doesn't seem too fussed.
Good time for a massage, I reckon, half-time. Get away from the fallout zone. Here goes Jones through the middle. Long ball, that's better to Catman. Hits him on the chest with a beautiful kick.
Well, tonight we've seen clean ball through 50 metres at the 50-metre arc. And Aaron Cabot, he's been excited tonight. He hasn't touched the footy tonight. This will be the first time Aaron Cabot has had a possession.
Set shot for Catman. He kicked 2 against the Dogs late in their encounter last year. 3 last week. He hasn't really kicked a high number set of goals, but he can kick 3 or 4 on you. And that's a start.
Well, it is a start, and you just got to put some respectability back onto the scoreboard if you're the Giants. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, eh? We've seen they do have the power to make a comeback after what the Swans were put to in that third term last week. 9 goals from 18 inside 50s was the best football we've seen for the year. And they're going to have to do it again. If they're to get out of jail here, it's going to require a Herculean performance, but we know they are capable. And if you're the Western Bulldogs, you can't afford to drop off. You can't lower your gloves. You've got to play this quarter right out.
Adam Kingsley would want to be focusing on it, and we've seen the live ladder. Percentage is real come finals, especially with the log jam there at the moment with the Dockers, Hawthorn, and Geelong are probably at 134. So that around that 115, they have got to be right on.
Breaks a run of 8 Bulldogs goals. The Cadman effort inside 50 again. Lob. A great night so far. Somehow gets it out. Richards on the 1-2. Now Johannesson. Dogs fans would be love to see him running. Well done, Bramble. Baker does the same. Gets away. Darcy heads up with the footy. Fraser is just a beautiful thing to watch at the moment. Beautifully picked up by Kennedy. Can they finish? Richards brought to ground.
That is as pure of handball footy as you'll see. Just quick, angled handball. The ball goes faster than the player constantly, but the kick pick up here from Matthew Kennedy. Unbelievable.
So Darcy in the ruck this time. Richards, Liberatore, grab Cornelio and another ball up. Darcy down to Sanders. He's taken to ground. First involvement from the sub Rouston and a ball up.
Cadman, 1 disposal. Hogan, 1 disposal. Big guns up forward. Starved of opportunity. Dogs to the top of the square. Berg takes care of business.
Yeah, the problem they got is Bontempelli's getting warm now. 9 disposals in this second term. They're just having their way with them everywhere you look. You just wonder whether the Giants, to use the old-fashioned, have they come to play tonight? Have they really been ready to roll? Were they ready for what the Dogs were going to offer?
Iden to Brown. Outpoints Baker on that occasion. And then takes on Baker. And they work it via hand. Ash over the top. Green just having to work with the oblong football. And the end straight down the throat of O'Donnell.
Baker in front of Green. Umpire tells Tom to get out of the way.
If you just look at the corridor game, 64 disposals to 26 in the corridor, and that's the Giants' game. So they've been smacked at their own game tonight.
In place they haven't been smacked. To be fair, Whitfield immediately collared by Williams.
It's really by Bailey Williams. Not only playing wing back, just pushing through the contest there to make sure he was the one to put the tackle on.
English with the free kick. He's kicked 2 goals tonight. 11 disposals. Short to Bontempelli. And then the penetrating kick towards the forward line. Norton! He's having a field day.
And that's the difference. That's the difference between Buckley and Leclerc. Just doesn't want to put body on. When they're standing side by side, you've got to deny the forward. He allows him a clean jump and he just nudges him out of the way with the hands and the shoulder to the side. And it's just too easy.
So 6 marks for the night, and you can put him down for 3 goals as well. What a half of football for the Western Bulldogs. It's back out to 66 points.
That's been a domination all around the ground. And Leclerc comes into the side and plays key back. Too worried about Sam Darcy and trying to impact the contest of Sam Darcy. And see the forwards working together here. Riley West gets in and gets a block and just creating this space. But this kick comes in from Bontempelli. You can see Darcy ragdolls Taylor here, and Leclerc thinks, I've got to go over and help, and doesn't do his own job. Leaves Aaron Norton, who's probably the hottest forward in the competition at the moment. 7 goals last week, 3 tonight, just with an easy use of the hands. Sit back and take a nice mark.
English just laid it off to Bontempelli, who is 20 metres on his own as well. Away we go again. Bedford back to Green. Bedford breaks through 1 tackle. Back to Green. They're doing it themselves at the moment, those two, trying to fashion a ball forward towards Hogan. Hasn't been a factor at all. North Stringer immediately collared from behind. Good tackle by Dale on Jones. They come again, the Giants. Trying to work one into the corridor. Bounces off the chest to Hogan. It's that type of night. O'Donnell should clear.
And does. Outside defensive 50. Ash spoilt by English. It's emphatic around the ground.
It is, and you look for the little things. Tim English didn't have to push hard to get over that contest, but he did, just to get the stoppage at half forward there.
One of the greats.
O'Donnell, outstanding cricketer, top footballer as well. And from Kelly, earns himself a free kick. She wanted 50 as the play continued, but comes back to the champ. As Bontempelli looks corridor. Now Hannison switching out, numbers everywhere. Buslinger probing football inside 50 to Williams. He looks around, he looks urgently down towards English. No other leads at this stage. Poulter lurking towards the pocket. Darcy at the back, up against the goal line. So Williams from right on the 50. It's coming around. Not enough.
89 at half-time has been their best score for the Bulldogs under Luke Beveridge, 2015 against Melbourne. So 89 is the number one. 81 is currently the second best score in the first half for the Dogs under Luke Beveridge. It's good time as well.
And their vulnerabilities are down back. So for this midfield forward group to keep the Giants to 16 inside 50s hasn't allowed them to expose any of their flaws. It's been a complimentary performance all round.
Very nice in front of Bedford.
Trucks, Tim. GWS, Jake.
So we heard the Giants had lost 5%. The Dogs are up around 4%. Some big swings in this.
The Dogs don't have much of a worry with percentage. They're up over 130, but what it will do, it tightens the gap between Fremantle on the table. It brings them down to well below Hawthorn, and puts them really vulnerable now to make the 8, given percentage will be the lowest of that group.
Williams foraging for it. Got it towards Liberatore. It's just errors heading towards Garcia.
Giants run home. North at home, going favourites. The Suns away, they won't go in favourites. And Secure at home, they'll go in favourites. That's how the Giants finish off their season. Liberatore. Back to Williams with a floater forward. Norton, 3 goals for return. They get a free here. And the confidence he's playing with at the moment.
Stand, yep.
Tries to punch one inside 50. Coulter, who's had the half of his life. First term was absolutely everywhere. Now Iden with a bit of run. Long clearing ball out of defence. Cagman marched well.
Stand, play on.
So up the grounds. He's got running for him hard. Ralston. Marks. That's a good grab with Lobb bearing down on him. Short one. Better. Bedford. He goes back with urgency.
The second time we've seen the wave tonight, the tsunami. Going through contests as well. Had to be perfect kicks to players there. Ralston with a fantastic mark. Aaron Cadman with a contested mark too. Only his second time he's been involved in the game in this first half.
The former D. 10 tackler last year. And that's not bad. It's carried. It's through for their third goal of the night. So with 22 seconds left in the first half, there's just a little ray of sunshine as they head to the main break.
So Cadman take the mark, just getting that space out the back. Else in the subs come on for McMullen. He knew that Bedford was on, so he wanted to get up and play on quickly. Toby Bedford went back. A really important kick. You need something going into halftime. You need something to build off. The margin is 61 points, but the last goal going into the bigger break just gives you a small glimmer of hope.
Wasn't a pretty kick in the end, was it?
No.
Allen subbed out with an ankle halfway through the term. Vandermeer, the unused sub so far for the Dogs, who led by 33 the first break round to a 61-point margin. And that's where the Giants kicked 2 of the last 3. Kick for Cleary. Darcy kicked 2 in the opening term. Norton's got 3.
Outside 5.
Half-time. Dominant half by the Western Bulldogs. They lead it by 61 points. 12-9, 81 to the Giants, 3-2-20. And that's with Giants, as I said, kicking 2 of the last 3. It's a 61-point margin. And in a tight season with percentage, live ladders, etc., David King, these are fatal blows for the visitors.
Oh, they are. And there's no guarantee of playing finals if you win 15 games. That's the reality. Percentage is going to play a huge part. When you look at the ladder, it's incredibly tight. The Dogs' percentage is not really a factor. They're up over 130. So whatever they win by, the gap, the margin doesn't matter. Look at that, 136. So they've just got to get to 15 wins. You think they would. Or they'll at least be playing Fremantle in the last game of the year, which might be for all the chocolates. You've got Hawthorn have got a couple of sticky weeks in front of them at the moment on the road to Adelaide, and they've got Collingwood, Brisbane the last game of the year, Melbourne snuck there in between. So you think there are 4 or 5 teams that are going to be around that 15-win mark. Percentage, absolutely critical. The Giants have a lot to play for in this second half.
They started at 118.4 tonight, Jack Reebok, so they dropped 5%.
Yeah, they have. And Adam Kingsley will be aware of that along with his coaching group, that this is bigger than just the 4 points tonight. This is form, this is everything. And this man here, Tom Green, I mean, he has to stand up. Toby Green isn't out there for them in this second half. Hasn't been out there, obviously, due to suspension. A lot is on that man's shoulders.
They've got 5% in percentage and about 50% in confidence.
61-point lead to the Western Bulldogs this weekend after dominating in Spa, the Grand Prix, and Oscar Piastri looking for a 7th win of the season. They head off to Budapest in the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Piastri and Norris separated by nothing.
All right, folks, we'll be back when the commentators come back. But there we go, 61-point margin at half-time. Bulldogs 12-9, 81. Giants, holy Toledo, 3-2, 20. 21 scoring shots to 5. Well, the Bulldogs are having a party out there at Marvel Stadium this evening. Of course, the Giants put on 2 goals in that third term, but the Dogs another big quarter, 5 goals for 6 and 5 goals respectively for the Dogs. I tell you what, they're having their way with the Giants out there tonight. The Giants aren't even putting up any fight. Look, there's no rough and tumble type acts from the Giants. Maybe they need that. You know, I wouldn't mind actually even seeing Jake the Package Stringer go into the centre, try and do something for the Giants, because nothing is working. They haven't got that killer instinct out there tonight. As we said, folks, there's only one team that's come out to play, and that, of course, is the Western Bulldogs, Addy. That's right. The Freo fans are having a party tonight, because by the end of tonight's game, I tell you what, Freo could be ahead of the Giants. Just looking at that live ladder, what they were talking about, with the Giants going to lose this game, there's no doubt they're going to lose it. They're only 1.8% above Fremantle. Same points, but that percentage, all important like they're talking about, especially come end of the season. So if the Giants get smacked by probably another 30 points, Freo will probably go on top of the Giants. And then, I tell you what, if the Gold Coast Suns win, 52, I tell you what, the Giants could even be struggling to make the 8. That's why it's so important. Get your percentage up. Look at all these teams vying for a top 4 spot. Bulldogs, one of them, Freo, GWS, Hawthorn, Cats, Brisbane, all vying for top 4. I think Collingwood, Adelaide should be pretty safe top 4, but the rest of the teams, well, we'll tell you what, they have to win. That's what it comes down to, winning. Goal scorers out on the ground so far. Aaron Norton doing his job well. 3 goals, 1 now. Leading goal scorer out on the ground. Lachlan McNeil doing reasonably well. 2 goals, 1 from 5 touches. Tim English didn't add to his goal tally, nor did Sam Darcy. They both got 2 goals, 1 up until half time. Riley West, Caleb Poulter, as I said, having a good game. Matty Kennedy coming in with 1 also for the Giants. Jake Riccardi and his fellow teammates, Aaron Cadman and Toby Bedford, snared a goal for the Giants late in that second term. Look, all the Bulldogs, to tell you what, they're sharing the ball well. There's no one player standing out there for the Bulldogs out there tonight. It's across the board. 15 disposals, leads the way out on the ground at the moment. Of course, that is the Bont, Marcus Bontempelli, 15 disposals, 8 kicks, 7 handballs, 4 marks, 2 tackles, 5 clearances. He's having a picnic out there. Lockie Ash for the Giants, also on 15 disposals, 12 kicks, 3 handballs, 6 marks, a tackle and a clearance. Lockie Whitfield, next best on 13, with Tom Liberatore on 13. And then you've got a host of Bulldogs players there, Poulter, Norton, Kennedy and English, all on 12. All right, we'll come back to the stats in a moment. We'll just head back down to the commentators.
Sam Darcy with the opening goal of the game here at Marvel Stadium, and that is our special Hindi call. You can catch it over on channel 507. Jason Dunstall and Lee Montagna, we are seeing a demolition by the Western Bulldogs. It has been extraordinary in the opening half. After what the Giants produced last week, we really expected so much more in a game that means so much.
We did. It's an old-fashioned thrashing. I mean, we knew that the Dogs were primed and ready, an unchanged team. They were ready to go, but we expected something a hell of a lot more competitive from the Giants, Joey.
Well, the best offense in footy this year, the Western Bulldogs, have just put on an exhibition on how to play offensive footy in that first half. It was scintillating.
12 goals in the first
21 half. Scores from 31 entries. I think it was the second best first half return under Bevo. And the Giants just couldn't lay a glove on them. There was nothing they could do. It was absolutely perfect football.
Luke Beveridge told us here on Fox Footy when we spoke to him before the match that it was going to be an all-out assault on offence. Let's have a listen.
Because of the changes to the rules with the man the mark and the 25-metre dot on kick-ins and how you have to evolve in the game, you know, ball is king. Offence is a great opportunity. And we've pushed the envelope on that this year, and we're not going to back off.
With thanks to Harvey Norman, our highlights are all in the forward half, really, for the Western Bulldogs, who have been relentless, Jace. It has been a powerful performance, obviously led by their tall timber down there, but they have been crushing on the Giants.
They have, and look, we know that the Giants aren't a big territory team. The ball just lived in the Bulldogs forward 50, and effectively it was only a matter of time. But it happened from the start. I was so glad that he was okay after that first one, Sam Duss, because he did hyperextend the leg as he was tackled, kicking that goal. But then it was just one after the other, after the next, and they were powerless to stop them, Joe.
Yeah, and I think it was great insight from Bevo that they're not going to shy away from playing offensive football. They're going to push the envelope. They're going to take risks. It might backfire defensively, but this is how he wants his team to play. And if they continue to play like this the last 4 weeks of the season, watch out come September.
It's an obvious strength, Jay. So is this a matter of Luke Beveridge just honing in what is their biggest weapon?
Well, it is. I mean, a lot of people talk about who does defence better than the Dogs. Well, no one does offence better. So why not do what you do well, better than everybody else does, and make it your number one strength, your big weapon. It's what sets you apart. And they're doing it. They're showing the Giants a clean set of heels. I don't know how many teams would have been able to stop them doing what they're doing now. Maybe it'd be a hell of a lot closer. My goodness, they are on song tonight.
Well, Sam Taylor is certainly no slouch. In fact, he's one of the preeminent defenders in the game. He had no answers for Sam Darcy early, and then it was Aaron Norton who took over with 3 goals in that second term.
Yeah, it looked early as if it was going to be Sam Darcy, and I mean, Sam Taylor, the best defender in the competition. Not even he can defend Darcy one-on-one, but then when the attention starts to go to Darcy, Norton starts to work himself into the game, and he's just full of confidence now. His leading patterns are really good. Like, he's always had a great work ethic as a forward. You could never question that. But occasionally, Jason, you get in the wrong spots as a forward, he'd be behind, or he'd have to try and take a contested mark. But now we're seeing an evolution where he's got some real forward craft about him. He presents, and he's getting on the end of it. So, I mean, they've got the two-headed monster there that's, at the moment, Giants have no answers for.
The other thing we're seeing him do at different stages is come right up the ground and be that connection between defence and attack, and that's leading to opportunities for other players.
Sensational opening half performance by Aaron Norton, who is in a rich vein of form. We spoke about it before the game about how he and Sam Darcy are working so well together. One thing that's simply not working for the Giants, it's their biggest weapon. The Tsunami has been shut down by virtue of the Bulldogs' forward half turnover, Joe.
Yeah, it has. I mean, this is what we spoke about pre-game. The Dogs have been able to do this to Giants the last 3 times they've played them. And again, to have 26 points already from forward half turnovers in the first half. The AFL average is only 24. So it's been really impressive. And then when they've won the footy, the Dogs, they've just been away and gone. But it's really disappointing for the Giants. To get a scoreline like this at half-time, Jason, 2 things have to happen. Exceptional offence, but really poor by the opposition. And when you look at the Giants' pressure rating of 167, when you look at their intercept possessions, they've only turned the ball over 16 times, which is the worst of any team this year in a first half. So they can't get their Tsunami going because they can't get their hands on the footy.
I don't think Adam Kings would be wasting a bait at halftime. He might tell them a few untruths about how weak they've been, but they've just got to find some semblance of system to actually just get the second half on an even keel and be competitive with the Dogs, because you just can't continue to get rolled over the way they are in that first half.
They need to bring a much better work rate, that's for sure, in this second half. Toby Green, Jason, you were really frank in your opinion before the game about how much the Giants would miss him today. Gosh, they'd love him to be out there right now.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any difference. They'd need 5 of him out there, I think, to be competitive with the Dogs tonight. They have got all sorts of problems, and as good as he is, it's more than one player. There's a whole system breakdown with the Giants.
And I love that we bumped into Toby Green in the lift,
Jason. Too. I told him I gave him a look, and he laughed. He said, I probably deserved it.
Did you get him in a headlock?
No, I just gave him a little pat on the head. He's a good fella, but no, he would feel really helpless now, and that's when it does hurt, when you see what the teammates are going through and you can't be there to actually assist on field. But as we said, it's across the board. It's not one area. It's not one player that can make a difference. They need to raise an effort as a team and just be competitive in the second half.
Well, we're not writing them off yet, because what they did in that third term last, Joey saw it firsthand. It was phenomenal. Well, Saturday night, Collingwood and Brisbane, the clash of the Titans at the MCG. You can catch it here live on Fox Footy.
Would you look at that? A Super Saturday Spectacular, live from 7 o'clock on Fox Footy. Collingwood and Brisbane at the MCG.
I'll tell you what, that's going to be a ring-a-ding cracking game, that one, Brisbane-Collingwood. Unfortunately, I won't be able to cover that game. I'll be out, so I'll tell you what, I'm just as sad as everyone else not being able to cover that game, but hopefully they'll have the TV on where I'll be so I can watch that one as well. All right, let's get back to the stats, the halftime stats for your players. Tom Green needs to, there we go. Well, he hasn't, he's got 11 possessions, 4 kicks, 7 handballs, but I haven't really seen him do a great deal. Look, none of the Giants players really seem to have an impact in the team, and of course the forwards down there, the package at the moment, and of course their spearhead. We'll get down to him in a minute. Geez, my gosh, I've forgotten his name. Anyway, Sam Darcy, a little bit quieter in that second term, 6 touches, 4 kicks, 2 goals, 1. Luke Cleary on 7 with Garcia there for the Dogs. Darcy Jones, well, thought he'd do a little bit more. He's just had the 5 touches, so he's quiet. You see a host of the GWS players down here on real low performers. Jesse Hogan, just the 1 touch. There we go. Look, the ball is not being delivered well. They're just bombing it to him. Lower the eyes, boys. Lower the eyes. Get him on the run. That's where he's best at. When Jesse Hogan can lead up at the ball when he's got a good defender on him, that's what he has to do in this game. And they've got to do that. He's only had 1 possession, 1 handball. He hasn't even put ball to boot as yet. So they need to do a little bit more. Just looking at the team disposals now. Look at those. I think it was about 5, wasn't it, at the quarter time? Now it's out to 53 disposals towards the Bulldogs' favour. As I said, they've got the ball on a string out there tonight. Unbelievable. All right, there we go. 27 more kicks, 16 more handball. Inside 50s, a little bit more respectable there for the Giants, although they couldn't add on any more than just 2 goals in that second term. I think they were just 5 inside 50s in that opening term. Up to 18 now, so they did stop the Bulldogs a little bit. It was 11 inside 50s to 13 in that second quarter. Giants way, but it was just 2 goals to 5 goals in that term. So Dogs just super duper dangerous going inside. Efficiency around the ground, just to tell you what, it doesn't look like. They're making some errors though at 81.75. Efficiency inside 50, that pretty much tells the tale, doesn't it? 67% to the Western Bulldogs. That's a fantastic number up until half time. And 27% to the Giants. Wow, 18-10. Free kicks going Bulldogs' way there, plus 10 there. Hey, Albert, how you going? Welcome in. Yeah, it certainly is a bit one-sided, that is. Eddie G wants the 100-point win to put Freo above the Giants. I tell you what, anything's possible in this game. That being said, the Giants couldn't play much worse than they're playing at the moment, so you'd expect them to come out and do something in that in the second half. I don't expect them to win in this game, that is for sure and certain, but I do expect them to do something. You want them to show a little bit of fight. Coming only what have we got? 4 games left of the home and away season. They're going to start to hit a bit of form, and top 8 sides, they just shouldn't perform like this. Hit outs, the Giants in favour there, plus 12. It's the clearances though. The Bulldogs doing it there, but mostly around the stoppage clearances. It's plus 1 to the Giants in the centre. Clearances contested. Bulldogs all over the Giants. They're plus 32 in contested ball. Giants, come on. Turnovers, 29 Giants, 16 Dogs. I tell you what though, that is low turnover compared to their season average. Season average for the Doggies is 61. I suppose the turnovers for the Dogs are so low because it just shows you that the Giants, they're putting no pressure on the Dogs at all. I think they were saying their pressure rating was down at about 130, somewhere there. I tell you what, that's like grade... I tell you what, even the under-12s put more pressure on their opposition than the Giants are doing here tonight. The Dogs are plus 10 in the marks inside 50, just dominance. Already up to their season average half-time. 13 marks inside forward, 50 to the Bulldogs. only the 3 to Giants. I tell you what, it's delivery as well. The Bulldogs delivering it well inside their forward 50. Giants, I tell you what, they're just not. And you have a look at the contested marks, pretty much all of them inside their forward 50 where they're taking the marks. 12 contested marks, 13 marks inside their forward 50. So, there we go. Only 1 contested mark outside their forward 50, so it tells the tale. We know the score there. The tackle count. Tackles are super duper low for both sides. Look, the Bulldogs are just chasing, and look, I think there's a few more turnovers. So the Giants just don't have the ball in their hand that much. So there we go. Even though it's about 50-odd disposals, the difference. Both teams do need to lift their pressure. Tackles inside 50. Dogs doing reasonably good there at 9 at the moment. Giants on 5, but I'd like to see a little bit more pressure from both sides around the ground and throughout the match. Just looking at that live ladder again, as we were saying, the Giants are hanging on to 6th spot. They are 1.8% above Fremantle in 7th position. So if the Giants continue to allow this margin to grow out, 61 points at the moment, I don't know. If that gets out to about 90 points or so at EG, I think Freo might leapfrog. We'll keep an eye on that three-quarter time if this margin blows out a little bit more, but we know it's about 1.8%. 1.8%, I think we said at the moment. 1.8% there, Freo are behind them. So it's fascinating, folks. It is fascinating to see where these teams are going to line up. And I think, I think that's one thing the GWS Giants coach will let them know. This could be a game, a defining moment in their season. The coach surely will be putting that to them. If we're going to lose, we need to close the gap and, revive a little bit of that percentage lost already. They already lost 5% in this game. That's a big percentage already. All right, hey, that's enough of me jibber-jabbering on half-time here. We're only 30 seconds away from the bounce of the ball for the second quarter. Let's head back down to the ground where it's the Bulldogs by 61 points.
Jack, they're going to have to throw caution to the wind. They're going to play through corridor. They've got to start getting their hands on the ball. They've got to give a work rate and an effort level, really, that matches what they've done for the bulk of the season. They've been incredibly poor tonight. They're going to get this back on track.
They certainly do. Kieran Briggs has had his colours lowered tonight. This was last week. That third quarter, 57 points is how he's mentioned. Jake Stringer got firing. Finn Callaghan was fantastic. Toby Bedford and Stephen Canelio. But I'm looking at Kieran Briggs. He's been beaten up in the ruck tonight.
I'm looking at the Dogs as well. 1-8 against top 8 teams this year. And they've got an opportunity to make a serious statement like they haven't made before. 10 goals up at half-time. What damage can you inflict on the road to the finals?
Well, they're playing right here, right now, over the PA here at Marvel. It's 33 at quarter time, 61 at half time. It's a big time now for the Giants. As the ball's about to be flicked up in the middle to kick off the second half. English down towards Bontempelli and Liberatore. Richards hacks it round the corner, marked by Whitfield.
Defensive point of the square. Moves it forward quickly to a contest. Cadman's kick one. Bedford and Riccardi, the only other two on the board for the Giants.
Even Whitfield there just gets the intercept mark and sort of just hesitated to go. I reckon Lockie Whitfield at his best just takes off there. Gets creative. As soon as the turnover happens, the speed to get back onto offence as fast as you can, critical to the Giants in this second half.
Briggs and English. English wins it. Front and square, Richards. And out.
Hasn't been a hard tag tonight on Tom Green. He's just had the one clearance. And that is his game.
He's had 11. There's Tom Green. Hogan and Cadman have had 3 disposals between them. 2 to Cadman, 1 to Hogan. Cadman's kicked the goal. Overrunning it there, Green. Gets it back on the overlap. And pass to Whitfield, who's got work to do. Tries to keep it in front of himself. O'Halloran doesn't really help. And the turnover comes again.
McNeil scrambles the kick to Norton. Then his handball intercepted by Iden. Fossick's for it. And then his handball errant grabbed by Garcia to Williams to Liberatore. It's a downfield free kick.
Behind your mark, Tom. It's your kick, Tom. It's your kick.
Very lucky. Ed Richards was out running into open goal. Just needed to get it to him.
Liberatore sees a player wider. It's English.
Kieran Briggs was trying to do the right thing. He was the one that chased down Ed Richards. You can see him pointing in the background there. And Tim English just floated into the space. 2 handball errors as well led to this bit of play setting up.
Gee, I've loved his game tonight, English. That's his 4th mark inside 50. He's charging forward. Another aerial option for the Dogs that really don't want for too much forward of the ball.
He signed up for another 4 years after this one as well. Tim English, an Australian Blazer in 2023. And that's going to hit the post after kicking 2 goals previously tonight.
That's why Adam Kingsley went to the forwards at quarter time, because the English work. Briggs is going back to support, yes, but the forwards, one of the key forwards needs to come up more defensively to stop those types of plays.
Johnson alongside Eddie Betts, Matt Hill, Jack Rewalt, and David King on Thursday Night Footy on Fox. Dominant display to this point for the home side. Inching ball forward to Cadman. Wheels around on the left, looking in towards Hogan, who's got literally 3 Dogs to beat. Pontempelli hovers over the footy to Liberatore, just kicks it over his shoulder. Callahan drops one he would have typically taken. Cadman, Aliir, Darcy absolutely nails him. Has to get rid of it, Aliir, and doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think he paid for the first tackle there, but then he dragged it back underneath. As soon as you do that, that's the cue for the umpire to pay hold of the ball.
So Darcy disposes of it quickly to Richards, and then a Giants player was dumped against Liberatore. It's coming back to Brown. So the Doggies were off. It's going to come back to the wing. Let's have a look.
Scoring with the trailing arm there.
Well, he had 5 touches, Brown. His kick to Ash makes his teammate really work for it. It was a real miss kick, and then he wobbles one inside 50, and then Kennedy dropped what he should have taken. Second effort to Cleary. He's going to switch out to Williams.
It's calm with the ball, Cleary, has all night.
I just wonder, Brad Johnson, what the communication's like down there for the Giants. They just don't really look as intense as the Dogs.
No, they're not at all, Kingy. Their communication's good when they're looking to blame someone else for an effort that might be exactly where they need from a structural point of view, but communication to support, communication to contest is not happening at ground level.
Norton looks full of confidence after his bag last week. 3 so far tonight. Pinpoints Kennedy in the middle of the ground. Makes it tough for Bramble. Somehow gets it onto his boot. Callahan favoured and completes it.
Again, hunting corridor, the Dogs.
Callahan goes wide. Trapped by Cadman. And then just composes himself to Harvey Thomas.
Bulldog Callahan numbers back.
Wheels and goes. The young gun in the Hogan direction. He got a nudge, gets a freebie.
Yeah, you can see what he was trying to do there, O'Donnell. He's trying to protect his teammate in Williams, who'd done the right thing, stood under the high ball. No, it was clear he was going to be cleaned up and absolutely cleaned out by Jesse Hogan, who was coming at a rate of knots. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to get right, Jack. You want to protect your teammate, but inevitably give away a free kick.
Yeah, you do.
One disposal. Very, very quiet from their sharpshooter. Opens up the angle, and it's not going to be long enough. And eventually through for a rush behind, which really sums up their night.
Yeah, bizarre technique there from Jesse Hogan, sort of selling that he was going to do the drop punt and then snapping it around the body. I prefer him just to set himself up. If you're going to commit to the snap, take the snap.
Well worked by Dale. Bramble. Williams waited. Judged the ball best of all. Got time to spin it back over his head by hand. Just too much on it for JJ.
They did all the hard work there to spin. Just didn't hit the handball. Just not sure about this. I would like him to set up, look into the centre of the ground and just snap it like that. You don't get the distance and the same penetration when you're walking in, faking that you're going to kick a drop punt.
Riccardi. Then a Bontempelli who was being held.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Rouston's gone to them to try and take Marcus Bontempelli out of the game. He's clearly the most dominant player on the ground in that
Spot
first
on,
half.
Jackie. He has. He's been with him this entire quarter.
Bontempelli, 17 disposals, 9 kicks, 8 handballs. Johannesson. Darts one inside 50. Norton, Darcy, who wanted it?
Yeah, that's the luxury you get. There's nothing better than coming off a half-back flank like Johannesson's doing there, and he sees both of them. He sees Norton and Darcy. And when you kick it low, hard and flat like that, they can work it out themselves. Norton coming first. Darcy just gets pushed out, nudged out by Taylor, who let's be honest, has been spooked a bit by the height of Darcy tonight. He's given away free kick after free kick.
Gee, a smidgen of a nudge. And Darcy gets the free kick. He's going for 3, but again, just a little bit offline. So not as clean tonight.
It's fascinating how many of those balls, I appreciate that was a free kick to Sam Darcy, but how many balls just go over the tip of his fingers and that Aaron Norton can actually potentially get to?
Ash with a low sizzler. Good effort in the air. And then giving a free kick. Brown. Back and across.
Taylor's yet to have an intercept possession. He's yet to win the ball back for his team.
He's now received it from a teammate. Good smother as well by Darcy. He's kicking goals, taking marks, getting free kicks, tackling and smothering, and now chasing. What a player he is, the young number 10.
Aaliyah threads his way through the pack. Handball to Riccardi. Cornelio looking for options. Goes back to Green. Now Cornelio. Working over time, spreads out to Himmelberg, who's got a bit of space. Now his entry inside 50, leading out Stringer.
They're just fighting to try and get their way through that space that we spoke about pre-game, the drawback of the tsunami. There's just a big 50-metre gap there, and they finally found their way through. All the forwards have gone deep. You can see them all sitting deep here, waiting for the ball to get into that launch zone space. They get it in there, and Jake Stringer takes the mark. From the Bulldogs' point of view, it is a long way from goal here, and he's on the boundary.
Plenty of boos around Marvel. The Dog supporters have long memories. 5 touches of the pill tonight. So Stringer from 49. Good looking kick off the boot, and it's a goal. So Jake Stringer doing what he does best with a belter of a kick from 50. And he is 11 goals away from 400 career goals in AFL competition.
Just need to keep fighting the fight here. Try and save some of the scoreboard or the percentage damage. Jake Stringer's been an incredible player for the Dogs. Then he went to the Bombers, obviously, and we've seen the package find his way to the Giants. He's as fit as I've seen him. And credit to him for preparing himself to this point. You hope that he'd be a factor deep into September. They've got to get there first. But he's the sort of player, Jack, that can win you a prelim in a quarter.
Yeah, he is. And he needs his running mate, Toby Green, there as well, I think, to get the best out of Jake Stringer. Just the cascade effect of when you don't have your superstar captain there, he gets the next best defender.
Bontempelli just drags out of the middle, takes a bounce, tries to run away from Callahan to Kennedy. Perfect setup, not the perfect finish.
So they're starting to step out of clearance now, aren't they? It's plus 10 now. They've done it again. I mean, they've smashed the Giants at clearance. The last 5 meetings, and tonight's no different.
Himmelberg has a gallop and about 4 bounces. And Iden, full extension on the kick. Up they go. Cadman, no. Dale out to Baker. Dogs are out again. Handball over the top of Sanders. Had some room to move. Jones pats it away. Came back to Iden. Ash. Callahan in the corridor. He's got a little bit of time and now spreads it out to O'Halloran.
O'Halloran. Nice long ball forward. They kicked 3 of the last 4. The Giants. Thomas. Bedford pulls the trigger on a high entry. Coming in from the side, Angwood. Buslinger dealt with it nicely. Baker. Now Garcia's got a little bit of time ahead of him, and Poulter, who racked up 8 in the goal in the first term.
He's had a decent night. Goes short. It's offline. That's probably his worst moment of the night. Straight to Iden, and then Callahan, a little fake. Now to Ash through the corridor. The Dogs have beaten them at their own game tonight. Ash takes them on, and then his kick was smothered, went too far. Sanders, Richards, Bontempelli, Dale, Little Chip. They run hard, the Dogs. Now it's Frazier, and then inside 50, sat it out for West. He had to hit it hard, and he gathered it like a waiter. And his centering kick, Norton.
He didn't fight the fight there, Himmelberg. He can throw his hands in the air. But that is your man. That is your responsibility. This guy's work rate, Jack, has to be seen to be believed.
And I'm loving his craft as well. You can see the smother. We've seen multiple smothers tonight. Darcy, Bontempelli, and the turnover here. Fantastic mark by Riley West. But Aaron Norton's work just to get in behind Himmelberg there and then lead up the kick was fantastic.
So great team play by the Dogs. Can Norton capitalise? He can. He's posted 4.
And this is the evolution of the Bulldogs with their 2 key forwards. We haven't seen Sam Darcy for the whole season, so it's still been a work in progress for them, figuring out who's going to lead up and who's going to lead up when. Sam Darcy was the original lead to Riley West. Then he rolled back and actually created the space for Aaron Norton to come here. So both of them are looking to lead up here. Norton sees that Darcy goes and knows that he's got to drag back, and the whirlpool effect of Sam Darcy going back, Aaron Norton coming into the space that's created, and a really, really crafty kick here. That's undefendable.
I've never seen Sam Taylor beaten like this. He's yet to have an intercept disposal, yet to win the ball back for his team. That is amazing.
7 last week, 4 already tonight. Beautifully, just tapped down to Richards. Tries to step around. Good tackle coming the other way. Supplied by the Ruckman Briggs, who goes in against Bontempelli. Tries to drag it out. Callahan, clean pair of heels. Hooking ball inside 50. McDonald plays it well on Hogan, who tries to butter up at ground level. Bustling, caught, and gone.
It's one of the bottom ones where, I mean, the umpire says no genuine attempt. I really don't know what Jim Bustling is supposed to do. He's got his legs trapped underneath him. I'm not sure what sort of genuine attempt you can make, but as soon as you've got one arm free and you've got the footy in it, they expect you.
It's a great tackle.
Get out. He's a fantastic tackle by Riccardi.
Kicked the first for the Giants in the first term. For a second for the evening, Riccardi. No problem at all.
Always look concerned, coaches, don't they? I'm not sure whether a 57-point margin at this stage of the game's enough for Bevo.
He looks stressed, he
does. He looks stressed, and he's looking for little things, isn't he? He's looking for opportunities to get better as a group and better as a team. A youngster down there, and Busling just trying to find his way. What more could he have done? He took possession. He had to try and throw it on the boot, I guess, would be what the umpires would say to make a genuine attempt, but it's just the perfect tackle.
They are a weird breed, the senior coach. Never happy. He would want to be seeing the mauling that he saw in the first half. He knows that they can do it. They analyse it to every detail.
So it was 61 at half-time, 57 at the moment. Bontempelli just so clever to Liberatore. And then a long ball inside 50. Darcy.
Bontempelli. What about that? Just how smart is that? We're talking about the inside to outside game. How do you get it to the outside to a player unimpeded? And he just taps the ball there, double-handed, and liver on your path. Quality like this coming in, when you've got targets like the Dogs have got, it is impossible to compete. And Taylor again, I haven't seen him beaten like this in many a moon.
This is reminiscent of last week when it was a shootout between Darcy and Norton against Essendon with a big win there. Darcy comes in and kicks his third up against Norton's 4. So the tall timber doing the business again for the Dogs.
Yeah, and they are challenging for potentially the most dynamic duo and powerful duo in AFL footy in regards to key forwards. I think Sam Darcy's much better player. He's a very good player, but he is a much better player when the ball is kicked flat and hard into him. It doesn't give his defender a chance to body him up and push him. This is the tap from Bontempelli there to Liberatore, but this kick by Liberatore, see how it's just got so much penetration on it. That there plays into Sam Darcy. That is the first mark of the night for Sam Darcy.
He's been given a few free kicks. He's been in the perfect drop zone, and Taylor's been rendered useless. This is the challenge, probably the biggest challenge right now for fullbacks in the competition.
41 goals for the season in 14 games after his season looked done with that knee issue. Baker charges through. Bontempelli is just putting on a display. Sends it forward again. Poulter will come from behind. The fist comes from Leclerc. Down to McNeil. Whips it out to Garcia. Good pickup. Somehow tries to scoot it out the back by hand. Callahan with the shoulder taped up. Hands and knees. Banded.
So Bontempelli had 4 touches in the first quarter. He looked like he was just going. Spent a bit of time forward of the ball. He's now up to 20, but 13 of those have become scores. What a player.
8 clearances to go with that too.
Lobbin Briggs wins that outright, threw it on the boot, almost in disgust. Anderson along the ground, Sanders, Cleary in a tight spot. It's a pretty long kick away under the circumstances. There was not a communication there. But in the end, Aaliyah comes up with it to Callahan. The Giants are out.
16th disposal for Finn. A little bit of room on the outer side for the Giants. 45-degree ball forward from Riccardi. Cornelio. Forwards it inside. Stringer will go back. And have a shot.
We can't check Snicko out on the ground there. Play, but I reckon that one might have come off the Bulldog fingertip.
Well, he's definitely off here.
Even Jake thought that. Bit of a rinse and repeat here, though. Let's get the goal here already this quarter. Pretty much the same spot.
Springer playing against some of his premiership teammates. Already kicked one for the term from outside 50. And the Dogs fans used to cheer for him, now they cheer against him. And Buslinger clears it away.
So Dale called to play on. Short option in Garcia. Went to fend off the handball, but didn't step, so that was okay.
I'm interference. Bulldogs. It's all right.
He's had a good night as well, Libba. 7 clearances. This will be disposal number 19. Second only to Bont.
Buslinger. Spent a lot of time of the year as a sub. Not even getting a go, but 4th game tonight.
It's off the bench, Tim English.
English literally just ambled onto the ground. Now, entry inside 50. Norton at the front, may have got nudged. Darcy was the meat in the sandwich. Green comes up with it. Kicks it to Bedford.
Bedford looks down the line. Hangs it up in the direction of Cadman. Well played Bramble. Liberatore extracts it out. Somehow gets it to clear. He just keeps going and going. Does Libert gets another opportunity now. Closing in on his father's tally. He's about 30 games behind. The Brownlow medalist at this stage. English is crunched into. Umpire says play on, which Green does. To Angwin. Drives it. Cadman should mark. It's either mark or frontal contact. Really hard to not infringe in that situation. It's against Cleary. That bloke's not too happy with what he's saying.
I don't think there was too much wrong with it, to be honest, in this contest here.
There's a bit wrong there.
Maybe got the arms there. Yeah, no, got the arms.
On the back of the head. He got the loft. That is the hamburger lot. I'm pretty sure that's a free kick, but nonetheless, Cadman gets an opportunity.
Maybe it would be. He wasn't looking at the ball, Cleary. Cadman kicked one in the second term to break a run of 8 Bulldogs goals. The number 5 really draws it back nicely, and it's a good finish. He's got 2.
No, they're winning the quarter, Jack. They're winning the quarter, Giants, and I guess that's what the coach would have asked for a response. 3 goals to 2 in this term. 8 inside 50s apiece. Still got a couple of headaches with Bontempelli doing what he's doing and Libba getting on his bike, but they are working hard. They have lifted their work rate. There's no doubt about that. Their intensity has lifted from a dire level, really, in the first half.
It's noticeable at ground level as well. They are spreading a lot wide, trying to make the ground as big as they possibly can. Callahan has set the tone for the Giants in this quarter.
Been impressive tonight, Jono, the Dogs.
Yeah, they've been a lot more powerful than I thought at the start of this game. I thought it was, like everyone, it was going to be an even contest to start, but what they've been able to do through this part of the ground here has been strong.
One of the top dogs on our Fox commentary team, Brad Johnson, alongside Eddie Betts. Richards, long ball towards the top of the square. Deflects off the body of Darcy. Taylor's quick hands to Green. And then Green towards the wing. Set it up for Cadman. Pressured by O'Donnell and out.
See that flat kick in there again. I think it's something that the Dogs will explore to do a little bit more.
That's the first intercept possession for Taylor. He's never gone a game without one. It's been a long time since he's had less than 3.
Still plus 40 inside 50s, the Dogs, 40 to 26. Dominating the disposal count too, 240 to 195. And the scoreboard, most importantly. Norton, he's got 4. 7 last week, he's full of confidence. Sweeping hand pass to his partner in crime, Darcy, brought to ground, which is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, well, it's a long way from where Sam Darcy caught the ball down with his foot. He just couldn't get it down there.
Up it goes. Norton in the ruck to Liberatore. Couldn't get the kick away. It was smothered. Kennedy back to Norton. Wants another chance. McNeil this time. Round the corner. Kicks his third. He's joined the party.
It's a party trick.
How did that ball come out?
He slung it around his back. I'm not sure that's legal, but gee, it's effective.
Adam Kingsley with almost a smirk on his face, but I'm sure inside hurting big time.
Well, that's the gap in the game. The intensity of Norton. Look at him. First up for the tap. Follows up. Goes again. Just involved. Yep, lost the handle and tapped in the end by, I think, Whitfield. I think it came off Whitfield's left hand. Back into traffic.
It's like a knock on Neil.
Just look at Norton. Just hunting the ball. Giants just hovering. Bang.
Oh, it's off Whitfield.
Yeah, off Whitfield's left hand.
And this is just opportunistic as well. McNeil, he's probably battling for his spot in the side. He's had some good, I think he's been a little bit of a whipping boy sometimes for them this year, especially with his goal kicking, but that one there, opportunistic. Great pressure from the Dogs.
4 to Norton, 3 to Darcy and McNeil. Green tries to step through a tackle and does. Whips it forward. Cadman's presented well this term. He's kicked a couple, a strong mark. Finished beautifully from about this angle, but 10 metres closer in earlier on in the term.
There's great balance in his hips there, Aaron Cadman. It just shows a sign of a key forward or a marking player that knows exactly where their body needs to be at the right point in time in terms of catching the ball.
Number 1 pick back in the 2022 draft. Game 55. Hooks this one, going for the distance. English takes care of it. Feeds it to the line.
There's a free kick up the ground here, so Bramble was going to kick the ball in, but West has received a free kick in the middle of the ground.
Stay out, Tom. Stay out. Follow. You can't leave.
So West from end to end. Darcy only took 1 kick.
That's just great body work. He just locked on, engaged in a wrestle as West was about to drive that ball forward. And again, the size of this man has rendered Sam Taylor useless. Haven't seen him beaten like this, Jack. Oh, this is amazing.
And I haven't seen Sam Darcy catch the ball like this in terms of in contest, like this year. getting to the back position is critical for Darcy then to come back at the ball like that.
I'm tempted to send that to the lab. You know where I'm heading. Could be a 3.9 metre grab, that one.
So Darcy has just been a little bit offline at times tonight. He's kicked 3 big ones, but he's also been a little bit offline with 3 behinds. So 3-3 for the night.
I think we're going to go 3 little ones as well.
Averaging 3.3 contested marks this year, Darcy. That was his second.
Keep you guessing, JB boy.
Wide ball on the wing. Bedford gets front position.
This is what we're talking about with the domino effect. Darcy comes in, he takes the best defender and still beats them. And then you got Norton now on the second best. And West is a threat out of the goal square. And English is finding himself rolling forward. So forward of the ball they want for nothing. They've just got to try and find that answer at centre-half back that can assist Rory Lobb in winning the ball back.
As a result of all that, Holter Bob's up with 13 disposals as well.
Yeah.
Kennedy in the West direction. Fonte got a hand to it. Whitfield tunnelled it out to Ash. Ash back to Whitfield. Now Riccardi at close quarters. Wasn't a required trip, so it's going to be inboard from Whitfield to Callaghan to Himmelberg to Fonte. Less than a minute to play. So Dogs now winning the quarter. They were 61 in front at half-time. It's back to 62. There's going to be a 50-metre penalty, so an opportunity for the Giants to get their nose in front here in the third term with Himmelberg a shot at goal.
He's suggesting that he thought someone said play on.
He's pointing at the out-of-zone umpire, who's not really giving him a loss.
Thank you.
So Harry Himmelberg, who on 2 occasions has kicked 2 goals against the Western Bulldogs, directly in front. Off the side of the boot, always right.
Play on. Line. Outside 5.
Play on. Up to be.
Play on.
33 to the good, the Dogs at the first break. Darcy in the contest again. There's his third contested mark. 61 at half-time. It stayed at 61 this term.
That's his own 50.
He gets his own 50. Might almost be in range as well.
It's against Himmelberg for demonstrative.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with being blocked.
No, that's right.
Out of the marking contest, Jono. Saw Darcy arrive and mark the ball 2 metres over his head.
3 goals, 3 he's kicked tonight, Sam. Kicked the opener. Chance to take it out to a 67.3 quarter-time margin and join Norton on 4.
It's been a bit clunky through the last few steps in these last ones that have missed. I want to seem nice and smooth here.
The Deadeye is lined up for 4 for Darcy. Nothing clunky about that. The big boy rips it home to put an exclamation mark on the term. He's got 4, Norton's got 4, and the Dogs fans are celebrating 16-13, 109 to the Giants 6-6-42. The Dogs up by 67 points with a term to go. Tomorrow night, the Hawks, they pick the big 4 up forward. It'll be interesting to see how that works. They take on Adelaide at home, always a tough task. You'll see it right here on Fox tomorrow night from 6:30.
All right, folks. Hey, there we go. It's 3/4 time. The Bulldogs, they extend that margin. They extend that margin by that final kick after the siren by 6 points. 67-point margin here. I don't think we've got any 30-point margins here tonight, Albert. No coming back from the Giants tonight. I tell you what, it'd be interesting if they did, though. But I tell you what, there is no urgency about the Giants out there tonight. There's no tsunami. There's no wave. There's just not a great deal happening, I tell you what. Thanks, Paul, for coming on in. Take care. He's off. Have a fantastic night there, Paul. We'll see you tomorrow night. I think there's another fantastic game happening tomorrow night, folks. Another big game here. AFL football. And, of course, this one, Adelaide taking on Hawthorn over there at Adelaide Oval. We'll kick that off at about 7:40 p.m. Melbourne time. I tell you what, This is a game where, looking at the live ladder, I just want to have a look at the live ladder there just for the percentage, because it's getting very close. It's only 1.2%. The difference now, the GWS hold that sway over Fremantle in 7th position. So a lot of Fremantle supporters are hoping the Doggies probably put another 4-goal margin on this, and it might swap around, and Giants will go to 7th, Freo up to 6th. We'll just have to wait and see. But that's going to be a fantastic game tomorrow night. Of course, Adelaide taking on Hawthorn, and of course all teams from possibly 4th down to 9th will be hoping Adelaide can get up and win that game. I think Adelaide with the game clear, but that big percentage is like 2 games clear. Only Brisbane Lions really worry about Adelaide Crows there at the moment. But that's going to be a fantastic game tomorrow night. Hey, let's have a look at the goal scorers up until 3/4 time. It's the big men down there doing the job. Aaron Norton, Sam Darcy, both with 4 for the Western Bulldogs. I tell you what, Sam Darcy should have probably had 6 goals won. He missed a couple of set shots straight in front and should have been 6 goals won. Should have had a big bag, but I tell you what, he's doing his job. Whew, tell you what a duo. Norton, Darcy down forward. Lockman, McNeil, he's doing fantastic. Bobbing up with 3 goals won there also. Tim English with 2. Riley West, Caleb Poulter, Matty Kennedy, singles for the Dogs, Addy G. And of course, for the Giants, Jake Riccardi, best with 2 with Aaron Cadman. The package got 1. Jake Stringer, Toby Bedford also with 1. We had a look at that percentage. And as we have a look at that percentage, look at that is only 1.2%. So I reckon maybe another 4 goals margin or so, round about that, to the Doggies. Fremantle might actually jump up into 6th position. Disposal getters out on the ground. Well, a couple of GWS players lead the way. One is Lockie Ash on 22 with 16 and 6. Lockie Whitfield, 21. 15 and 6, and of course Tom Liberatore best for the Dogs on 21, 7 clearances, having a good game, and the Bont, of course, well, he's just having a picnic out there with his 20, 10 and 10, 8 clearances. I tell you what, he'd be loving this type of game. Matty Kennedy's having a ring-a-ding-ding game there for the Doggies on 19, kicking 1 goal, 1. Finn Callahan up to 19 with Tom Green up to 18. Norton, as we were saying, I tell you what, he's been a great player for the Dogs this year. He should poll pretty close in their best and fairest. It's always hard when you've got players like the Bont, Libba, and Darcy. I tell you what, they'll probably look back and go, geez, I tell you what, there was some superstars in this Bulldogs team. In a few years to come, this is probably a team we'll look back and realise how good some of these players were. Poulter, having a good game there for the Dogs on 13, 1 goal, 1. Harry Himmelberg there for the Giants, just the 12 possessions. There we go. O'Halloran on the 10. And as we have a look down to the lower order of possessions, it is pretty much all GWS Giants. There is only 4. There is only 5 there, and the rest are all GWS Giants. They need to put in, they need to, I tell you what, they need to put the pressure on. Hey, while we're just here, I just want to have a look at the tackle count, etc. Inside 50s, they come away with it again, the Bulldogs. 43-28 inside 50s. That is sensational. 43 inside 50s for 29 scoring shots. Wow. So only 14 times they haven't scored going inside their forward 50, the Dogs. That is fantastic. 28 inside 50s for the Giants, 12 scoring shots. Free kicks, of course, Bulldogs. Well, they're getting the benefit of the umpire's whistle out there tonight. 25-14. I just wanted to roll down and have a look at that tackle count and have a little bit of a look. Have a look at this marks, though. Folks, 18 inside 50 marks for the Dogs. That is incredible. 16 contested marks, 18 inside 50 marks. That is a ring-a-ding-ding effort by the Western Bulldogs. The Giants only the 6. I just want to come down and have a look at this tackle count. And as expected, even viewing the game, I tell you what, the tackle count, the pressure, I tell you what, there is very little pressure from both sides, I feel. Very, very little pressure. 25. You know what? I reckon the Dogs are nearly going for a world record low there. Anyway, that's enough for me. Let's head back down to the action. That's the Dogs by 67 points as we head into the final quarter.
We've said that a few times. Slick hands, Fraser, English, sauntering laterally, and then the kick too wide with the Giants with the numbers.
So from the Bulldogs' point of view, they want to be ruthless here. Percentage is still key for obviously their charge in September. 15 wins looks like the number that can get you in, but maybe someone does miss out on 15 and bad percentage. They don't want to be that side. An important quarter.
Spins back into play. English kick goals himself. Cornelio. Briggs had a pretty tough night. Tight on the line. Cadman, who had a decent third term, takes it across the line.
It's another part of the show reel there from Marcus Bontempelli, the elite talent. There's Nathan Vandermeer, the sub for the Dogs. Not too much to worry about tonight. Richards slips away from a couple. Liberatore, McNeil. He can use Richards, who loves to run and then kick inside 50. In from the side, Darcy. Offhands Cornelio. Iden at the back. And he can use Callaghan across the square. So the exit D50. Just a little nudge, but it was good enough. So the Dogs can re-enter again.
Down towards English. They have got tall targets everywhere, the Dogs, and they're all firing tonight.
He just exited stoppage early. Tim English from the other side of the ground worked across. Kieran Briggs just go with him.
It's his fifth mark inside 50, Jack. This is a threat we really haven't seen the Dogs explore for a little while.
2 goals, 2 tonight has the number 44.
Thank you. Move it on, stand.
Let's take it out to a game high 73 points. English from a tight angle. Starts it a little narrow and it stays that way.
Well, I think he's seen a chance to dominate ahead of the ball tonight. I think the Dogs have seen it too with Kieran Briggs. And he really's done that. 12 scoring involvements for Tim English.
Fonte has to work here up against the boundary line, but he's got some good speed. Stayed a couple of steps in front of his opposition, but the kick straight back to the opposition and English.
Denison's moved well tonight. 8 disposals. Bontempelli has been fantastic. Sets a task of Dale. The amount of times they've overlapped. Bontempelli's given it and received it tonight. And he's cut through the Giants. Here he is again. Exactly what we're talking about. McNeil, who's kicked 3. Elia has bumped the football rather than take possession. Bontempelli's still coming through.
Bulldogs. Holding. Yours.
He kicked the way of the Dogs. And go the way of Garcia.
He's meandering through Marcus Bontempelli and no one putting anybody pressure on him whatsoever. Letting arguably the best player in the competition just run a merry dance from half back, has 3 possessions. Free kick here for holding the man. It's Tom Green there that gave away the free kick.
Into his 6th season. He's ankle in a practice match of the pre-season. Garcia back in business now, right to the top of the square, and 3 Giants.
Begs the question for the Bulldogs, obviously in a pretty strong position to maybe rest one of their stars. Lane Vandermeer, their sub, hasn't been used yet.
Good luck getting Bonds off the ground. He's having a ball out there.
24 touches. Midfield's kick, questionable. They'll get another chance, the Dogs. Williams to Norton, throws it on the boot. Just too narrow.
So if it's not Bontempelli, is it Richards that you look to sub? They bat so deep.
I think Libber would be the one for me.
Melbourne next week for the Dogs. He subbed last week, Libber.
Yeah, clearly coach doesn't like him, Howie.
They're drawing a rather long bow, to be honest, Kingy.
No, I think that he's one you've got to protect from himself. Like he's just that hard. sometimes having him sitting next to you on the pine's a good spot to be.
Richards, hurried kick. Umpire right on the spot will find a free kick here to English.
How ruthless do you want to be if you're the Dogs here, Hilly?
Well, this is exactly what Jack talked about earlier. With percentage in play as well, you'd think that they'd want to put their foot down. So Baker to the forwards. At the back, Fonte. They've given it up, Sanders, and then Darcy, little snap round the corner. Angwin read it well. Caught it on the last line. The kick's a dodgy one to O'Halloran. And Johannesson bearing down on him, but they're going to get out of it. Ash just in a little bit of a bind, worked his way around West, and then looked further afield and sunk his slipper into it.
Ran his measure, but Rory Lobby just patrols that half-back line. Had another good night, big Rory.
They're lining up the Dogs. O'Donnell was there as well, just Ash. No care for the possession, bombs it up.
Well, the Dogs want the switch. He likes to go down the line. Alia's in best position.
Vandermeer doing a lot of work now in front of us on the boundary. It looks like Caleb Poulter has taken a back seat.
Iden,
Rest the Stars.
short to Whitfield. At the corridor, Ash working overtime. Speared one, it's Aaron Kennedy. He decepts, gets rid of it legally. Dale, Green had him, gets rid of it. Richards slips a tackle. Johannesson spreads it wide. Williams, it's a 50-50 ball. Jones didn't do enough in the end, gave away a free kick, advantage paid. Bramble towards Kennedy. Kennedy just couldn't rake it in. Came out front and square to Sanders, and then West calling for it. Norton! And he didn't quite, but he got the free kick anyway.
Brilliant work from Johannesson to get the ball out wide. But look, I think Riley West has taken his game to the next level this year. I reckon Riley West 2 years ago maybe have had a shot there just to centre it up, be the ultimate team player, put it to the predictable spot. Aaron Norton there where he should be as a key forward. Didn't take the mark, but definitely a free kick.
So Aaron Norton, 17 touches tonight and 4 goals, 2.
2 metres.
After 7 last week, his best bag against the Giants has been 5. And he matches that, does it for a second time. It's out to 76 points.
It's a really good discussion because I think Riley West, for those clever little kicks back into the corridor from the deep pockets, almost on the boundary line, he's a beauty at those. And there is the run home, the all-important last 3 weeks of football. The Dogs have got Melbourne at the G, the Coast, the West Coast at Marvel. You think they'd win those two. They go in heavy favourites, and it may just come down for all the biscuits in round 24 against the Dockers here at Marvel. What a finish to the season.
Could be a Sunday 4:40 job, you reckon, right at the end.
So it is Caleb Poulter who probably played his best quarter of football the first term.
He was fantastic and made them pay every time he got the ball.
Torre trying to keep it in front of himself. Bedford does just that. Stringer starved of opportunities. Jones.
Stiff there, Bob. I thought they might have been holding the ball, but his defensive actions tonight by Marcus Montempelli have set up the Dogs for the way they've attacked defensively.
Hot potato on the ground. Liberatore got it out somehow to Bontempelli.
Well, he just took it straight out of Tom Green's hands. He just ripped it out of his clutches. He'd be disappointed with that, Tom.
Poulter off and Vandermeer on, and his first involvement. He's kicked it straight towards Green. Little fake and then kick inside 50. The Hogan direction. Lob just did enough. And the clearing kick from O'Donnell, hung up for a while. Spoil on Richards, go to Johannesson, back to Richards. Richards has to be quick and then works laterally. Sinks the boot into it towards Williams. And here come the Dogs.
Good build up off half back. Started from Rory Lobb. Now Bramble, out of wing, takes his time. There is Riley West. Keep it in through Alia. Doesn't look convinced with the kick in, but finds Ash. Back to Taylor.
Taylor has been humbled tonight. Kick to Thomas.
Been forced into a straight line game, haven't they? They really haven't used angles through the corridor like we're used to seeing with GWS. And that's been the result. You've got to bypass Rory Long. This is embarrassing. This is as a gun midfielder in the competition, you get your hands on the ball, and then the opposing gun says, "Hey, I'm going to take that straight off you." That's just a man who wants the ball more.
Kennedy pick up his bean. Another one for Bontempelli. Disposal 27. Darcy falls awkwardly, but lands okay. Iden with a long ball out to Jones.
Jones out in the stringer direction. Couldn't quite over the top of Bramble. The slinger back to Bramble. And then Bramble worked away from Brown easily in the end to Fraser. So Fraser short inboard to Richards. They're enjoying themselves, the Dogs, as Richards low long ball slipping over Darcy. West at the back. Taylor did well on hands and knees. Going in Iden. It's going to be a free kick to the Giants.
Jesse Hogan coming off the ground. Just been watching him the last few minutes. The runner just went out to him. Just doesn't look 100%. Hasn't looked 100% tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if that's Jesse Hogan's night done.
3 disposals for
straight down the race.
Yeah, good call.
One kick and a couple of handballs.
Coach has called him back up for a chat.
High up and under ball. Cadman drifts underneath the footy. O'Donnell hugs the boundary. Mandy's had a tough introduction into the game.
Himmelberg.
Very short conversation with the coach too, Jack.
It's a big story too.
Oh, Ash's kick is a questionable one. Iden having to work. Fraser was there sniffing out a goal, and then West's kick, he was just nudged offline by Fonte, was enough for Rouston to pick it up off half back. Then his kick is questionable. Baker dropped it, then affects the tackle on O'Halloran.
Wow.
And holding it.
So good. So good, Oscar Baker. That was terrific. Just knuckled down and said, "He's mine. I'm going to run you down." He's hurt O'Halloran in that tackle. Inspirational.
That was a ferocious tackle in the inset. Ouch. Another great night for Richards, coming up to his 21st disposal. Plays on, sends it in the direction of the big fellas. No one touches it. And Richards, he drags one through as well on a dominant night for the Dogs.
They're too worried about Darcy.
And this happens a lot. It happens that space out the back, which can sometimes be occupied by Bulldogs forward behind Sam Darcy. You think, how does the ball get behind him? But because they kick it to him so much and they kick it so hard, you do get opportunities like this. This has gone over the back and it's gone straight through. Richards has got the penetration in his kick to do that.
But we've seen Taylor just drop off and read the fly of the ball and take those as an uncontested mark. Have a look at him. He's on Darcy. He's so concerned, as you would be. I don't blame him for this, but normally he assesses the fly and would fall back onto that. But as you say, the kick was so hard and flat. Just cleared them easily in the end.
I just love how Sam Darcy's using his arms as levers to protect the space and get away from the back, Sam Taylor. He's just trying to open up the space, one to lead into, but then it's protecting where he can actually drop the ball too.
I look forward to Jason Nelson in the postman. He's kicked 4 goals, 3 Darcy, but he's had a hand in about 5 or 6 other goals. So he's a dominant force. There's no doubt about that in that forward 50.
Briggs down to O'Halloran. Drop kick. Had to manufacture something after he initially left his hands, and Jones with the mark. So less than 10 to play. Jones, a true centre half forward. And Briggs. He looks left, he looks right. He goes right towards Ash. It's a dangerous kick. Norton as well up the ground. He was tackled by Angwin. Ash working hard as always, handball to no one. Norton with the volleyball work. Baker, Sanders. He's a little bind, goes back to Norton. Almost kicked it to you, Howie. And it's out of bounds on the floor.
Yeah.
It's gone the security guard.
Didn't trust himself in the air, did he?
Crowd went up too because they thought it was going to hit the roof.
One of his strengths, the high ball.
Question the courage of that security guard.
Inside 50 ball. Angwin attacks it. And he's taken across the line for his trouble.
Going to lab that one for crack, maybe.
He could have stood under that and taken a chest mark in there.
He might be under the fireball tomorrow.
He's cutting a solemn figure there, Jesse Hogan. And a shake of the head.
Lob to Green only, and then Angwin searching ball towards the top of the square. Attracts a crowd, being held by one hand. O'Halloran got the handball fired out to Cadman, and he kicks it too fat and lucky to register a score, and he does just register a score.
Ramble wants to move it immediately to Dale. Low ball is perfection to Vandermeer.
Outside 5.
Subbed in, Poulter subbed out. McMullen subbed out with an ankle. And Ralston came in.
Stands there. It's off.
Hopefully all is okay for Jesse Hogan. He's just disappointed with what's happening on the ground. Across to Aaliyah.
This kick. Angwin v Baker. Ralston back to Green, still in play. Angwin not convincing, and Aaliyah has to effect the tackle on West, and he's holding it.
It's a great tackle on Riley West, but the Bulldogs, it's just been a game of fingertips to them, like just the nth degree of actually just getting a hand in. We've seen multiple smothers tonight. That's the pressure standard that they've brought.
Long ball across to Himmelberg. Further on. Now into Fonte. Received from Thomas. Sent it to Bedford. Cadman comes from 3 deep. Spoils the contest. Dale. Libber. Vandermeer.
We've been watching Jesse Hogan. He's obviously on the bench at the moment. We think this is the moment here that Hogan's actually potentially asked to come off the ground. Makes his way. Just looks like he's limping there. And that's a big story for the Giants, their key figure. Their Coleman medal winner. And one we'll watch closely during the week.
Bontempelli runs into Whitfield. Garcia's there for good measure.
Bring it back.
Free kick. It's going to the Bulldogs. Liberatore was off to the races, but Garcia's going to come back to him.
I think a night like this really changes your opinion of both teams, really.
Outside 5.
Are the Dogs a wild card in a final series? Could they do this, as we've seen them do way back when in 2016, for a mad month or not? And where does it leave you with your aspirations for the Giants?
O'Donnell's long ball, no mark. Fonte, there's a sea of Giants players there, though. Callaghan out to Ralston. So with that said, Kingy, what have we learned tonight from the Dogs? Obviously, they've beaten GWS already this year.
Yeah. Well, they smashed them at clearance. It's 50 points to 16 from stoppage. They've basically rendered their ball movement useless. 2 goals from the back half on turnover. That's just brilliant defensive work from the Dogs, and we haven't really said that as often as we like this year.
Ash. O'Donnell.
I think the big thing for me, it highlights the importance of Tim English and what he can bring over a final series. He's really taken Kieran Briggs to the cleaners tonight. He's been able to get forward on him. Can he do that against the really premier ruckman?
9 goals between Norton and Darcy is probably the story, really. When you look forward to the ball, it's impossible to clamp them.
Briggs takes care of lob in the ruck contest. Green. Slick hands, and as far as Dale. Pokes it out of defence towards Norton, who's had a big night, Aaron Norton. It's kick 5. Darcy's kick 4.
Yep, between them, 22 goals in 2 games. So, Callahan just throws it on the boot. It's a high one. Dale just pats it by foot to Johannesson, but he's got plenty of company.
Plenty of question marks for the Giants as well, but I think the big one is Toby Green. The fact that their captain isn't out there tonight. I think he's lucky that he only got 1 week for what happened last week. But clearly, they've looked leaderless tonight.
So again, Williams had the one arm pinned and the umpire was hot on it, holding the ball. So Thomas to Himmelberg. Long entry inside 50. Riccardi's up, no mark. Jones at the fall of the football. Cleary's quick hands and then grabbed by Riccardi out of nowhere and over for a behind. So back to 80.
Play on. You can.
Towards West and Fonte. Fonte throws a boot at it. West piles on the top of the pack. Gets it out the back nicely to the Baileys. Dale and Williams. Vandermeer sets him a task. Delays it. Here comes Libanow. Drives the ball inside 50. Darcy! 1, 2, 3. Easy as you like for Big Sam.
Just got out the back. It was Iden on this occasion that had to match up Sam Taylor on the bench at the moment. And he's so damaging when he gets out the back because he's so tall, but he's setting up Iden here to come back at the ball. As soon as it starts to transition through and at the back position becomes the strongest one, that's when they get it to him. A handy night if both the key forwards from the Dogs come out with 5 again.
Such an exciting player. For 5 for Darcy. Had a few issues in front of goal. No problems. It's a handball for Darcy. Beck and Luke look on as they watch their 22-year-old become a massive player in this competition.
Oh, he's about to rip this competition to shreds. It's just, we've seen what he's done tonight to the best defender in the comp, Sam Taylor. He spooked him into giving away free kicks. You really don't ever have a strong position against Sam. When you're in front, you're vulnerable. When you're behind, you can't get to the ball. He's just learning week to week how to use this size and this athleticism so effectively. I'm just not sure what the perfect matchup is against Darcy.
That bloke at Bunnings that blows around in the air with the long arms.
The vacuum dude.
7 and 6, the vacuum dude last week. 5 and 5 this week.
Dogs not quite done yet. Back inside 50. McNeil is going to get them free kick.
It's so exciting to watch though. Like you arrive at the footy king and you think, oh gee, I look forward to watching Sam Darcy in action tonight.
Yeah, and just the sheer scoring power. I mean, we're having a look back of what the Dogs have done against top 8 teams in the last half a dozen years. And it'll be a discussion in the post-match really, but this will be 130. Looking at 136 if he can convert here with still a couple of minutes to play.
This would be a PB if he was able to slot his 4th goal. McNeil, he's had a night out, gives it everything. With the big wheel before he kicks it. And a bit like Howie after a golf shot, just needing to recalibrate.
It does beg the question, though, with Sam Darcy, what happens when he does put a full season together? We see Jeremy Cameron as the runaway winner of the Coleman this year, currently sitting on 69 goals. Darcy sits in 8th. We've only seen 12 games of him. Always like to ask the question is, could he kick 100 in a season? And he is the type of player that when he gets on a roll, maybe he is the one.
There's talk of Jeremy Cameron, as there is typically every year, about the Coleman leader. At some stage, can he get the ton? He's 11 last week. Aggressive ball, a risky ball because there's Dogs everywhere. Fonte arrives, slick hands. Oh, these Dogs have got him. 1, 2, 3.
1:52 on the clock to go in the last quarter, and you're up by 13 goals, 14 goals, and you see that sort of evidence. That's the sort of evidence that Luke Beveridge will be showing come Monday.
Garcia, high one. Darcy with company. Fraser off the ground. Gives them a chance. Darcy and Aaliyah sprint. Aaliyah wants the boundary. Found the boundary. Thrown in.
But even if he doesn't mark like there, Jack, it's coming to the ground every time.
I've done multiple Bulldogs games this year, and here's a smother every week. And when he's not playing well, he'll do a defensive thing. You go, right, this is the full package as a footballer.
Garcia tries to steam through a pack. A couple of Giants had other ideas. Libba extracting as he does. Head down. Riley West, he's on tight rations, but getting the job done again tonight, West.
Yeah, and I've loved the game of Garcia. He's up at 15 disposals. He's been tough. He's been hard. He's put pressure on. He's hunting an opportunity here.
Eye contact, Giants. Stern.
I wonder what the actual number is for Darcy, how many scores he's involved in. 8 scoring, he's kicked 5 goals, 3 himself, but we've seen the Richards goal and other opportunities available to his teammates just because he draws everybody.
Johannesson, Kennedy, Williams. Garcia was calling for it. He goes to the square. In fact, he goes for goal. And through for a behind. So it's now out to 88 points.
Bontempelli 27, Torre 26, Ash 33 and Whitfield 28 for the visitors who have had a tough night. Another one coming up for Ash. Brownlow night, does Bontempelli get the nod or one of the big forwards?
I think Bontempelli in the end. And this guy's in there as well. Tim English, I thought he was exceptional when the game was hot early. Preparedness to get forward and take 5 marks inside 50.
Darcy sets himself again. Buffeted out of it. Ash. Callahan back to Ash. Off half back now through Himmelberg.
So Himmelberg's long searching kick towards half forward, the final stages of this. English won't be paid a mark. He snaps round the corner and that'll just about be it. So the Dogs against their arch enemies have won by 88 points. They're back in the top 8. They have eviscerated GWS.
Quarter time, 61 at the major break, 67 at three-quarter time. In the end, they kicked the only 3 goals of the last term to run out winners by 88 points. That man, he kicked 5. Batman and Robin and Batman take a kick. His mate Aaron Norton also kicked 5. McNeil kicked 3. Bontempelli had 27. Liberatore 26. And for a game that was billed as a huge Thursday night affair, the Dogs have come out and in the opening quarter blown it out of the water and continued on their merry way.
Yeah, I think you look back at the start of the game, one team turned up ready for war, ready to engage in a dog-eat-dog opportunity to take that next step towards a finals opportunity. And I think the Giants spent the week looking backwards at how good that third quarter was against the Sydney Swans and weren't ready, absolutely locked in and ready to fight the fight for the cause, and they got whacked between the eyes. They weren't ready. The coach will be furious with this performance, with the Dogs in the story. What a statement. 19 goals against the GWS Giants.
Marcus Bontempelli, 27 disposals, 14 score involvements, 5 inside 50s. Oh, Jono, what about this man, the Bont?
He's very, very happy down here. Don't worry about that. That's just about the complete performance tonight.
It was, we obviously built the game up. It was super critical for us to start the game well. We felt like that would help us, obviously, release a bit of the pressure, but clearly it was sort of a fourth-quarter performance, which we've been looking for, and we did feel like we defended the ground a bit better. Keeping them to 44 is pretty handy.
Started in the middle of the ground. Obviously, that's where the major battle was. All talk all week around that midfield battle. You took control in the clearances. Timmy English's game tonight was outstanding, but at ground level yourself, Libert, Ed kept getting it done.
Yeah, we did. You know, it's a challenge every single week. You're probably starting to see some new faces come through there. Riley Garcia, you know, even the way he was finishing off the game, like that's great stuff to see. They're all the good habits you really want to see all the way throughout the game. But it definitely is one of our strengths. Like we've got to keep being really strong in that department. Obviously helps us defensively if we're able to limit as many inside 50s as possible. But as like last week, when you can kick into some targets like Das and Nordy, and then the other smaller guys popping up, it's really balanced up there.
I think what will please you in some ways when you look back at Skipper is what Poulter did today and what Lockie McNeil did, and then the Oscar Baker last quarter tackle, the gang tackle in the middle of the ground to play the game right out from the youngsters.
Yeah, that play especially just over our shoulders here, like that's in the last sort of minute or two of the game. That intent is still there to really finish it off strongly, and they're the habits in a long season, which sometimes you're asking to draw more and more, and it's starting to get to the pointy end of things. You know, reality is we've got to keep winning to get where we want to go, so it's sort of just, you've got to keep working back from one, I reckon. Now, next week we've got to go again, but nice to have a bit of a longer break, reset and refresh and build up for that one.
Well, you had the music pumping pre-game. I'm sure you'll crank it up after this.
Yeah, it's the only way. You know what it's like. You've got to enjoy that sort of 5-10 minutes post-game, because pretty quickly you're off into recovering and focusing on the build-up for the next one. So, you know, you take a little bit of that and try and use it to build up your week, but we'll enjoy it for sure.
Well done on a great performance.
Thanks, John.
Teammates in the AFL era to both kick 5+ goals in back-to-back games. 91, Darren Bennett and Darren Cuthbertson. 92, Gary Ablett Sr. and Paul Brown. 98, Neats and Farmer. 2008, Bradshaw and Brown. And now 2025, Norton and Sam Darcy.
So it's taken 17 years.
17 years
Wow.
since two teammates have kicked 5+ back-to-back.
Bradshaw and Brown. I'm not sure about the other ones. I know Gary Ablett as well, so it's a long time that they are an absolute threat and a point of difference for the Dogs coming into finals if they are to make it. If you take a look at the live ladder there today, well, GWS are at 118% coming into today, and you might think 7%, like they've just dropped down. They've dropped down below Fremantle now, which is critical to what their finals chances do look like.
Yeah, and I think it's more than that. I think the Dogs youngsters have made a really powerful statement. It's the best game I've seen Caleb Poulter play. Oscar Baker did some seriously important things early. O'Donnell looks steady behind the ball. These are all guys that have played less than 50 games, and Sanders is getting better every week. We talk enough about Frazier. And Buslinger, whilst he had his moments tonight that he's going to get better from, I just think it's important he gets games into these guys. He's only had 3 opportunities prior to tonight. So it's the all-round performance. We know what we're going to get from Libber and Bont, Kennedy and Dale. They just need their bottom 6 to get 10% better in the last month of football to give them an opportunity to challenge.
And that'll be the question that we ask ourselves is, what are the Dogs capable of when September does roll around? It is a long time ago, 2016, where they were able to put nearly the perfect month of football together, coming from outside the top 4, where predominantly you need to be in the 4 to win the flag. So they've just got a unique style. They've got a unique talent pool that is, I mean, they have got stars over 2 lines, certainly the midfield and the forward line. If they get enough, I mean, inside 50s and chances, they can beat anyone.
You tell me you're not across the work of Darren Bennett.
Well, I know he's a punter.
Well, he's not now, but he played for San Diego and Minnesota after playing for the Demons.
Oh, sorry.
Come on, Jack.
Sorry.
Jack doesn't rate any record that he's not part of. That's is the bottom line. There's the run home. So this is going to build to the absolute crescendo on the last day of the season. Round 24. Well, of course, we've got round 25 this year with Essendon and the Gold Coast, but that's going to be some sort of game here at Marvel. Dogs fans, they'll fill the joint to try and get their beloved Western Bulldogs over the line. They've got this performance in them. That's the scare for the competition. Can they do it 4 weeks in a row, 5 weeks in a row? Probably not. But you just know what they're capable of. It's always a worry. You never feel comfortable when you put those magnets on the board next to the Western Bulldogs names.
Flip side of the equation, we saw Jesse Hogan off the ground. Hopefully no injury concern. That'll no doubt be talked about in the wash-up. They take on North. The Suns away and St Kilda North and St Kilda at home. But, boy, gee, they came down here tonight. Probably with tomorrow night. There's tomorrow night, and then there's obviously Brisbane and Collingwood. But one of the 3 games of the round, and unfortunately they didn't show anything tonight.
Yeah, demoralising. And it begs the question is, Can he be a real player in September if they are to make it to September, coming off an 88-point loss like that? And I would say no after a performance like that. That's soul-destroying than what they served up tonight.
It's just not unconditional. That's the problem. Their best is more than good enough. It's probably almost the best in the competition when they're in full flight, but the coach has to do much with them to get them to that point. So they've got their work to do. There's still a massive opportunity in front of them, but this footy we saw tonight across that first 60 minutes was brilliant from the Dogs.
And that man there, number 10, who has had a dominant win against, as you said, the best backman in the competition, Kingy. I mean, how good could this young man be?
It's a story, isn't it? I mean, if Tom DeCarney's worth 1.7, I'd hate to think of a figure for this guy.
3 million.
Okay, well, there you go. You've thought of one.
Into the rooms, the Dogs' 12th win of the season.
Stars of the West, woo! Red, white and blue, woo! We'll come out solid. Bulldogs through and through, we'll see. Bulldogs fight and Bulldogs roll. We give our very best. But you can't be the boys of the Bulldog creep with the team of the mighty West. Woo!
This is Thursday night footy on.
All right, folks, there we go. Game, set, match here. It was the Doggies by 88 points, 19-18, 132. The Giants, well, 6-8, 44. Wow. It was the Dogs from go to woe. It was just like, well, it was like a practice match out there today. The Giants, I tell you what, top 8. I don't really know how. Eddie, I don't know how the Giants are in the top 8 after that, as they said. Their worst is probably under West Coast Eagles, yet their best is really good. But they showed no fight. They showed absolutely nothing tonight, the Giants, but the Dogs just went about their business, a workmanlike win, and they got it done by 88 points. We'll have a look at the live ladder in just a moment, but that is the result. Dogs, I tell you what, they're going to be a scary unit for the teams in the top 8 come finals, because you would think they would make it. They got next week's teams, both of these teams, the Bulldogs will play Melbourne at the MCG Sunday week, so you would think the Bulldogs would get up over Melbourne pretty easy in that one. And of course the Giants should bounce back next week. They play up there at Kuraburi Group Oval in Manuka in Canberra. So they play North Melbourne next week. Giants, North Melbourne, the Dogs have got Melbourne. So you would expect both teams will have a victory next week. Just having a look at the stats before we wrap this one up. Aaron Norton, Sam Darcy led the way on the goal scoring list. 5 apiece for the big men for the Doggies. Lachlan McNeil with 3, fantastic ever. Tim English with 2, Riley West, Ed Richards, Poulter, Matty Kennedy and were the single goal scorers, and of course for the Giants, Jake Riccardi, Aaron Cadman, the only 2 multiples with 2. Jake Stringer ended up with 1, and Toby Bedford, not many goal scorers there. Lockie Ash, though, I tell you what, Lockie Ash lifted in that final quarter, but to no avail. 36 touches, leader by 7 out on the ground overall for the Giants, and the only one in the 30s, 25 and 11, 12 marks. Lockie Whitfield next best. The Bont, well, he was the best out there for the Dogs tonight with 27 touches, 14 and 13, 9 clearances. Libba, as brilliant as ever with 26, 8 clearances as well. Tom Green, 25 there for the Giants as we roll on down. As I said, Aaron Norton, 20 touches, 12 kicks for 5 goals. 2. Tim English was pretty good, 20 disposals, 16 and 4, 2 goals, 3, 22 hitouts. 11 marks, 4 clearances. He had one of his ring-a-ding-ding games out there this evening, Eddie G. Give the live ladder. We're going to give the live ladder just after the stats. Just wait a moment. I'm just rolling through these because we know all the stats folks in there love it. Jake Stringer didn't do much tonight, just the 8 touches, 1 goal, 1. And of course, I can't even see the other. Jesse Hogan was down there. I think he must have got subbed off the ground. He only ended up with 3 disposals, 1 kick, 2 handballs. That was it for him. The team stats, It was plus 42 overall to the Giants. Inside 50s ended up 58-36. Giants 22 behind there. Dogs did it well. Free kicks. I tell you what, there was a lot given tonight. 32-19. It was plus 13 there to the Doggies also. Giants winning the hit out. Doggies winning the clearances. Plus 3 in the centre. Plus 14 around the ground. Contested. Just shows you the Dogs. Contested ball was really good tonight, 137.86, plus 51 there. Giants really need to look at that. Really need to look at that. Giants did take 3 more marks, but the marks inside 50 where it counts 20-6 and 17-5 in the contested marks of the Bulldogs was really strong effort. Absolutely on fire their forwards tonight were the Bulldogs, and of course the tackle. You know, as I was saying, the tackle count is super duper low. It's hard to imagine 43 tackles to the Giants, 33 to the Bulldogs, and a third of those came inside their forward 50. Look, both teams need to lift in this area going forward into the finals section. That was the ladder prior to the game. Let's have a look at the live ladder updated right now. And as you can see after tonight's game, GWS Giants, will they fall down into 7th position? Western Bulldogs go from 9th. They creep into the top 8. They're sitting 8th at the moment with that fantastic percentage, second highest percentage in the competition at 137.3. Of course, Gold Coast Suns still to play. I tell you what, it's going to be fascinating juggle of the top 8 this season. But of course, that did elevate Fremantle up into 6th position now. Fremantle sitting 6th, still a game to play this weekend, so they could go a game clear of the Giants and 2 games clear of the Western Bulldogs. I tell you what, this is a game, Eddie. This is a game where Fremantle need to win this weekend, because I'm pretty sure they just said the Fremantle play Western Bulldogs last game of the home and away season this year, and it could come down to that. So Fremantle will definitely want to make sure they're 2 games clear going into that game, because their percentage, well, it's well under. But you know, Hawthorn could drop also, because Adelaide play Hawthorn tomorrow night, Friday night football. And that's another game where Adelaide could give Hawthorn a little bit of a towel up. So that'll be very interesting as well. But I tell you what, you've got to be happy if you're Freo. Well, it's all nail-biting stuff for Fremantle. Always, who's ever seen a percentage from a team in 8th spot in our life? I know that is just staggering, especially when you're thinking 12 wins and 8 losses for 137. Yeah, that's what that tells me is the Western Bulldogs have had some big wins in the wins that they have had. So I tell you what, it's really going to be interesting. But that's all I've got tonight. I tell you what, happy Freo fans, happy Bulldogs fans. I tell you what, if you're a Giants fan, you'll be needing some tissues, because you're in trouble. Although the only saving grace is, I think, next week you play North Melbourne up there at home, so you should have a win in that game. I tell you what, if they fail to North Melbourne, that'll be just about season over, I think, for the Giants if they fail in that match. So big match again coming up for the Giants next week, and I think Toby Green will be back for the Giants next week, just serving his 1-match suspension this week. I don't think he would have made much impact in the game. Look, he might have got a little bit angry in that out there, but it wouldn't have made too much difference, I wouldn't think. Bulldogs just did everything. They were pretty clean in the way they played. They had good run, good targets. They did everything well. And I'll tell you what, their forward line was absolutely on fire this evening. All right, folks. Hey, that's all I got for this one. Thanks everyone for coming in. Good on you, Addy, Liam, and everyone else who was in the house. So until tomorrow's game, Friday night football, Adelaide Hawthorn. From me, it's ciao for now, and we'll see you at the next game.